Oh, yeah.
It's kind of late.
We would do the whole podcast like this, oh, yeah.
You don't get the fizz with these.
Normally,
Fizz.
no.
You want the sparkling water?
So
Yeah.
I was anti bubble water for a long time
I am.
until I viewed water as an alternative to like soda or beer. You don't have to move the mic closer to me, brother.
That's
we all
true,
know
that's true, that's true, that's true.
Screaming is my
I just
inside
try to
voice.
Just trying to make sure when I edit, everything's about the same.
No, you're good. You're good. So, but I think this in the last couple of years, I've been pro sparkling water. I think.
Plain sparkling? Like, I get bubbly and stuff with the flavors.
With the flavors,
I
sure.
gotta have the flavors.
Yeah, I gotta have the flavors too. Yeah, but it's like you just tell your brain this is a soda in the same way.
Yes.
Like if when I was when I was peak CrossFit stand, powerlifting stand in my prime, in the same way I would eat a banana and be like, oh, this is the same as a Snickers bar. I would have to tell my brain that.
Yes. And then you have a Snickers bar and you're like, it's not the same.
Not the same. No,
I've been lying.
A banana is actually bigger in 2024 than a Snickers bar.
Much.
Yeah.
Probably
yeah.
3 Snickers to
There-
one
I
banana
have
these
a theory
days.
on the
Shrinkflation.
conspiracy theory
Yeah.
on candy bars and how they've been getting smaller.
Shrinkflation's for real.
Oh,
for
this
real.
is real? This is
Yeah,
a real
it's whole
conspiracy
thing,
theory?
Yeah.
And they're fucking $10 or whatever.
Yeah. They're $3 and
Yeah.
they're this big. They used to be this big.
Yeah.
Dude, you could feed a family off of a fucking Snickers
100%.
bar.
You
would have to
get
cut that
one
shit out.
bar and be like, we're all sharing this because it's so much.
Yeah.
And now look, now it's the fun size.
The king size is the regular
Halloween.
old size. Yeah, and the regular size is what we used to get on Halloween. Yeah,
we
absolutely.
used to be a proper. Well, we
Yeah.
were never really a proper country, but
Certain things were definitely better.
yeah.
We're working on it, I guess. No, we're not.
No,
It's only getting worse.
Next year, the Snickers bar will be like an M&M.
Yo, a bag of Snickers, it's $18. Just open up 100 little mini Snickers and just...
I would.
Yeah, I know you would. Put some milk in there for you, though, because you're a cereal boy.
Chocolate milk.
Oh, that actually freezes.
Chocolate milk and Fruit Loops.
They make this carb happy chocolate milk that I drink now.
Carb happy?
Yeah, that's what I call it. It's like the brand is like Carb Master.
Does that mean no carbs or more carbs?
It's
for bulking?
There's definitely less carbs.
It's not for. He said no. It's for flavor. I just drink milk just to drink milk.
It's good for me though because the amount of fats and carbs added together are less than the amount of protein that's in there.
Oh, okay.
So I can drink it guilt free.
How's your gym life going? You still doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said yeah.
Not this week. This week I took off and I ate
we all
like
took
shit.
off this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
This week I had like 3 cheat days.
Thursday was maniacal.
What'd you eat?
Everything. I had thirds. I ate it all. There was this cheesy potato shit. I had like 3 scoops of that. I had more ham than I could chicken stick. I had an entire bag of M&Ms.
Boom.
I went
That's
fucking.
cool.
I went crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That rocks.
Haven't eaten like that in months.
Yeah.
Ever since February, dude. I
You
mean,
ate
I'm
so
down
much
70
you
pounds.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, dude.
Good.
That's sick. I don't know.
Trimming.
I don't know how much weight I'm down. I stay away from the scale.
I don't do scales. You can't do scales. You'll just fucking get in your head.
It's like a gut punch.
It is. It is.
Oh, these
Well, because
pants.
plateaus are real. And you're like, you'll be
no
like,
doubt.
oh, I'm 265. And then a month later, you're like, I'm still 265. I'm working hard. It's like,
But my pants fit
Yeah, but
better.
my-
I feel
yeah,
better.
exactly.
exactly. Muscle weighs more than fat, so you might just be stronger.
Yeah. Straight up.
And I feel better for sure.
I had
It's good.
when I had that big weight loss between like 2012 and 2014, I dropped 130 pounds, give or take. But I went from like 330 to that. Oh, it sounds crazy, but the first 100 came off no sweat. But I was at like 230, 225, 230 for 6 months. I was like, this is just what I'm gonna be at
Yep.
forever.
Yeah.
I wanted to get under 200, but I was like, I can't. Like, I don't know what to do.
220 is my fighting weight. I think just my frame. 220 is perfect.
So that's kind of what
my
the
goal.
doctor told me.
Yeah.
He was like, I think 215, 220 might just be what you're built to be at.
I think so.
And so, which I was close to, but I still, and this is maybe a larger conversation about body dysmorphia, but I still had like the flab here,
think
the
we all
flab
have
there,
it, sure.
and I was like, I look like I lost 100 pounds. I did lose 100 pounds, but also I still got the belly flab, this and that. And I'm like, this is not. And then even when I got under 200, I don't know. I just thought overnight I would have abs, and it wasn't like that.
Those people are so disciplined. And
I
they're
can
eating
feel
an
them.
apple a
I can
day
feel them
and-
now. To be
I think just brought there's my
Actually,
bone.
that might be my
I can't
pancreas.
change my bones. Like my bones right there.
Sure.
So I'm a big dude. Just by default.
not
I'm
to
just
give
a big guy.
South Park any healthcare credit or whatever, but when everyone referred to Cartman as Big Bone, that's a thing. I feel like that larger frame.
Larger skeletons are a thing for sure.
Yeah.
Just taller than. I mean, I'm taller than Kurt. My skeleton's gonna be taller than him.
Yeah, for sure.
When we're both skeletons.
Tell me about it. And I'm not like, I wouldn't call myself a short king. I think I'm average height or whatever, 5'10".
Yeah,
But
that is average actually.
but I when I see somebody that's like, when I was weighing like 280, and I would see somebody else that weighs 280, but they're 6'4", and they would be like skinny, really skinny, I'd be like, this is not allowed. You and I are not the same.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta stay away from the scale. I'm telling you,
Dude. And also it's just scales. They create more problems in your head. It's a
Scales,
mental
how do
game.
they work?
Yeah. Well, because I still need to lose over 100 pounds. I still need to lose a whole normal-sized human to be what I feel is comfortable, normal size for me. So I don't need to see that. I just know because I go to the doctor now and they weigh me every few months, so I get like the small updates. That's all I need.
Okay.
I haven't been to a doctor in a long time. I need to go.
Yeah, I was that way. Then I almost died. So.
The last time I went is because I had a migraine, but I never had a migraine before.
Oh,
And so
you thought you were like an
I thought something was
aneurysm?
wrong.
Yeah.
I went there, I was like, dude, there's something wrong with me. I've never felt this. And they were like, oh yeah, you have a migraine. Go home and take an Excedrin. I was like, what the fuck? And then people just live with those.
I know.
Like,
Yeah,
daily.
I when I got in a wreck a few months back, I knocked my head pretty good, and it's been a while since I've had a concussion. So I used to play hockey a lot, and I got a couple concussions. Yeah, I played hockey for like 13 years or whatever. And it's been a while. It's been a while since I knocked my noggin really good. Probably since I was like 18 was the last
I
major.
didn't know you played hockey, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's
cool.
cool. That's the only sport I like, man. I love hockey.
Hockey.
There you go.
Team sports. When it comes to team sports, yeah, that's it for me.
It's the best one.
I respect. I have respect for most team sports, and I will sometimes follow them when I'm not busy. But hockey's always been my game. My dad played minor league hockey, so it was kind of like he played for Glacier-Cats. Do we not know this?
No, that's fucking sweet, dude.
Yeah.
I saw the Glacier Cats a few times.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Well, I wish they'd bring that back. I feel like we have the population now. We could do it again.
Totally. So the ADHD is kicking in, but it's been a while since I got a concussion, and I got one in July, and so like I've been getting what I think is a migraine,
Really?
From time to time, like a couple times a week, where I'm just like I gotta just lay down in darkness,
I think that's a migraine.
and then put on like
A cold pack.
no, that would probably help. But I just put on like noise canceling headphones, and then just like, I don't know.
Just like it cancels the noise out. Just let it be
where it's
silent.
just silence. Yeah.
Cease to exist for a few
And
hours.
then the tinnitus kicks in, and then I remember I have tinnitus, and
My tinnitus
so it
kicks
goes,
in, wakes me up. It's so
God.
bad. Sounds like a siren going off in my head.
Mine spikes after a show if I forget my earplugs.
Oh, yeah.
But luckily,
Yeah.
it might be once or twice a week I'll be existing. Then all of a sudden it'll kick in. I don't have it daily.
Oh, mine's 24/7. Like it's right now.
So mine's gotten better after COVID because I didn't go to shows for a year and a half. Which
yeah.
I know that they say that. I mean, I know there's scientists working around the clock, so maybe this is outdated information. But from what I understand, tinnitus is like irreversible. You just when you got it, because it's little cracks and don't.
It's like scar tissue, right?
Let me just say this off the top. We're going to be talking about medical stuff today. We've already talked about migraines. We're already talking about tinnitus. I am not a doctor.
Same.
I'm a nursing school dropout.
Go on the record.
But from what I understand, tinnitus is so this is not medical advice nor don't be like, well, I heard Stan say on Crashcast that if you lay down that a migraine cures migraines. But tinnitus is from what I understand kind of irreversible. Like once you get it, you get it.
Yeah, I think.
Although there's people trying to develop ways to cure it.
Earplugs, they invented them years ago.
I think that's the preventable. That's the harm reduction for tinnitus. But I do know that being away from loud music, like, when I was going to shows twice a week, and then being away from it for a year and a half, did wonders for my ear ringing. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be.
But I listen to headphones. Maybe that's why.
Oh, that's definitely why.
Like 24/7, because they're just in my head. Like,
don't you just listen to podcasts though?
Yeah, but I think something being directly in your eardrum is bad.
Yeah,
Period.
100%. Oh, 100%. Just
all
it's
day
a speaker.
long. It's all day long.
It's a speaker.
I
Like
work 12 hours a day, sometimes 18 hours a day, and if I'm not at Vino's like that, they're just in my head, unless I'm home.
This is when I knew that, hey, maybe this is unhealthy. One time I went to play music on my phone, but I didn't realize I just took my AirPods out for some reason, just threw them down without putting them in the little case thing, and probably not the best gesture, but I just threw them down on the table, and I was like, I tried to play music, I was like, my phone is not playing. Like hours later, I forgot that I threw them down. It's like, my phone is not playing music. It's playing music like in the other room. My AirPods were at full blast, and I could hear them from the other room, like very, very faintly.
Right.
And I was like, oh. And then I'm taking those and cramming them all the way in my ear.
And you can hear them a room away.
Yeah. I'm like, this is probably not a good thing to do. But yes, I have had AirPod-induced tinnitus, like major flare-ups.
Yeah, maybe I should pull back a little. I don't know, but I work in people's homes, man. I listen to
You
podcasts.
work with machinery
It's weird.
and
So
stuff?
it's like, yeah, so when you walk away, you miss part of the conversation. Otherwise, I'm hitting pause 24/7. So I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Story of my life, man.
There's no new music that I listen to, really. So
I used to love listening to podcasts when I work. And then I realize I get in the zone. I focus on work
instead of the
and
podcast.
I step away and I zone out from the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, I just missed 8 major plot points. What is even going on?
What's the point of even doing it? Yeah.
Yep.
I listen to this podcast.
I do. Yeah.
I don't listen to any others.
That's weird. You should. They're
They
good.
don't interest me.
Oh.
This is a
I
good
get it,
podcast
though.
to listen to, I think.
It's a bunch of
'cause
friends.
it involves people that I know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
I feel like
true.
the second if we ever blew up, we'd lose almost
Every
everybody
local.
local.
You're gonna blow up and act like you don't know nobody.
At least I'll get paid for it.
There you go. Maybe, yeah.
Don't
maybe.
be mad at me. You got 300 episodes of us.
But like podcasts like this, I think that are more conversation based versus like laying out a story or whatever. I think are
Story-based.
easier to digest when you're busy, because if you tune out for like 5 minutes, yeah, I mean you might miss something. I'm not gonna say that it's just
but you know
BS,
that,
but
I mean-
but like you're not like what's going on, you know?
All you're gonna miss is me talking about my heart condition for another,
Yeah.
for the 400th time.
Yeah.
Because I'm sad about it.
And it's, I don't know, it's close to home. Like I've tried listening to podcasts where they only talk about like a topic. Like today we're going to talk about, Jack Daniel's whiskey, and they'll talk for 2 hours about that. You know, I don't give a shit about that. But when it's like your last one, you and Jacob, like both of you are my friends.
Yeah. I
Totally.
get it.
Just,
I love that.
and you guys are talking about stuff that happened in Benton. You know, I drive through Benton. I'm like, cool, yeah.
A lot of my friends in the military like it for that reason too. They're
Yeah.
like, I know these people, and even if I don't, it's somebody I
nostalgic.
can know when I get back, or something like that. You know.
And even on episodes where you have people that I don't know or I'm not familiar with, but where you're in the same ecosystem in the music, in the larger music scene, maybe not in the hardcore scene or in the punk scene or the metal scene or whatever. I feel like I learn stuff, but I also know you, so it's like it's cool because it's like I have an anchor, an attachment to you, but also I'm being introduced to something that I have been familiar with from afar, kind of, you know, and so, but it's still local, so.
Yeah, that's just. I love talking and I like new shit. That's it. That's like the two things. It's like if you have anything to talk about, I'm like, all right, good.
That's funny.
Unless we're chugging 100 chicken nuggets.
You saying you like talking? When I asked Cody if she wanted to come on this, she was like, "Yeah, I love talking." I was like, "Perfect. That's all you gotta do."
Yeah, that rocks.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Well, I've never met Cody, so I guess it's about to be real interesting.
I'm stoked because of her history in hardcore. Like, yeah, I'm gonna let her.
Yeah.
But no,
No.
she's such a joy.
Is there anything I need to know? Or I should know going into it? Because I'm going in
I'm
fresh. I don't know this. When you said this
I don't know
person,
Cody
I was like,
that well either,
never heard of her or anything.
No, there's not really.
Okay, cool.
There's nothing to like worry about.
I'm good at meeting new
brace
people.
yourself for. Yeah, she's chill. She's cool.
She's gonna have like 6 fingers or nothing.
No, no. It's gonna be easy.
Guitarist or vocalist?
Vocalist.
Okay, cool. Oh, hell yeah.
Well, like Bite is her first hardcore band.
You're in Bite, right?
Yeah, I'm in Bite.
Ah, I told you.
Do
Wait,
we need the little like? This is gonna be. Is this my second South Park reference of the
Second
podcast?
Yeah. Like
And the counter how many bands we name that Will plays in.
Okay, I'm in Bite, Penalty, Threat, and Second Life.
What happened to the other one?
I told you I had to quit like 2 bands.
Ah, that's right. You did say that.
Yeah.
Damn. That's a lot, though.
And they're all fun, and they all give me different outlets. I got Threat for my straight edge, getting that all off my chest, because they let me, scream and stuff too.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, right. Because I was about to say, like, isn't it the same genre?
Well, the drums are the exact same from,
Okay. I forgot about the vocal
I
thing.
love
Yeah,
a
sorry.
dude that admits the drums are the exact same. That rocks.
It's like the parts are even the same thing.
They might be. I mean, fuck. I think just yesterday, I was jamming in Threat, writing a new song, and I was like, dude, this sounds just like a Bite song that we just wrote. And I showed them like side by side, and they were like, no, it's chill, don't worry about it. I was like,
Who cares?
okay, if you say so.
That's why I like being in the bands I'm in, because they're all completely different.
Yeah.
You can't fuck that up.
Well, you're also in Shimfo. You're playing guitar.
Yeah.
So
it is different instruments. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The only hard part is Lame Johnny, so it's not coming across as like
Yeah.
because I do write parts for the other bands, even my Insta War, like so, and we're getting progressively meaner and heavier for some reason.
In my store?
No, Lame Johnny.
Really?
Cool.
Well, I think we just wrote a. You'll have
I think
to
it
hear
should be. There's a few things. When we did that run with Orthodox, Chase Davis and Dalton were talking about wanting to start a band that's just like mean rock music.
It's kind of what we're turning into. It's kind of very. It's
like
getting very aggressive.
almost like noise rock. Like it's still heavy, but like a helmet, kind of like a helmet Motorhead, like adjacent, where all the songs are just like about doing bad things, riding motorcycles,
Ours
breaking
are about
bottles.
Bad people.
Yeah, okay.
Not doing bad
That's
things.
cool.
Ours is more angry.
Cool. No,
There's a lot of anger. This next EP we're writing is just pissed off.
Really?
Yeah. It's very heavy too, though, so I'm kind of worried about that because we have the blues aspect of a lot of our tunes. Like one song,
blues is heavy though. Let's
It
be
is.
honest, yeah.
but it's like baked into a lot of the core songs, so the riffs, and now it's kind of just going to like drop tune, just screaming the whole time.
That's the beauty about music, is trying to figure out how to, like, in genres and stuff. I know it used to be like a talking point to be like, oh, I don't like labels and genres or whatever, and I get that sentiment to a degree, but also like it's fun to work within the confines of a genre and try to
I'd like
fit
to keep
what you
it where
want.
it's at. Yeah, I'd like to keep it where
like,
it's at.
Be creative enough
Yeah.
to hey, let's bring these new elements in, but still be true to what we're trying to do.
But also, if there's a million bands doing it, and there's always a million bands doing everything, nothing's new, right? None of us are original. I didn't create some fucking rock and roll. Oh, you're fine. Okay. It happens a lot.
It?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
These cameras shoot so wide. Look, this one camera has both of y'all in it. It's fine.
Hey.
That's the thumbnail. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I get in my own head a lot. I'm my worst critic. There's nothing you can say about my band that I haven't said 10 times worse.
Trying to be original?
Not original, just keep it to the sensibility that I like that we've built, and we did it without trying. So now I am trying, and it's getting harder. Because when I don't try, sometimes the things I'm interested in, like, they come in more, right? So like if I'm like writing a song, but I'm listening to a certain band real heavy that month, that band tends to like their style tends to creep in. Yeah, so it's
So
like
guilty.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
But with the bands I listen to specifically, I feel like you know who it is because it's so. I only listen to like the band that does it. Like I've said like I like the people who did it first.
Yeah,
It's like and I don't listen to like the whole genre as a whole, but I just like listen to like the one band, and then I'll listen to like this one band and this one band.
They're like the Trailblazers, I guess.
The Trailblazers, typically. Yeah. Sometimes people come along and do it better than the Trailblazer. Sometimes.
Yeah, well, because if they laid the foundation, somebody can
it grows.
copy that foundation, or they can take it and build upon it.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a talking point right now in hardcore is like you hear bands like Code Orange or whatever, or Candy or Turnstile,
Jimmy Kimmel,
and they're like yeah, knock loose, whatever. But bands like that now we can have an argument about who was the first hardcore band, but just early hardcore bands like Dead Kennedys, like Black Flag, like Minor Threat. Do those bands sound anything close but to each other? Not at all.
No.
Are they both hardcore bands, or are they, are both? I would say yes. Some people might make the argument about the newer bands not being hardcore, and I get it, but I do think the genre evolves.
Everything evolves.
Yeah, everything evolves, and I don't think you can. There's an argument to be made that it's not at least rooted in it, and so things just naturally evolve. It's just how it goes.
I was talking to someone about that.
That is very interesting. That's a good point.
Now there's bands that
would it be more up to the youth? You think? Like is like if they think it's hardcore, then maybe what you think is hardcore is just some old dad shit.
Yeah. So I don't want to ever be that guy to be like, this is not hardcore. At 16, maybe I would have been that guy.
Sure.
But as a 35-year-old man, I think hardcore has always and should be a youth-centered and focused movement. And so, like, if the kids are like, this is what we're vibing with now, then that's what we're vibing with now.
All the breakthrough stuff is done by children. All of it, always. It's always young people coming in.
For the most part, or it's dudes that have been around and like carved their path for many, many years, and they're kind of looked at as the figureheads or whatever.
That thing, yeah.
Like Turnstile, the dudes in Turnstile have done numerous bands like Down to Nothing and Trapped Under Ice or whatever, and so like their DNA has kind of been sprinkled throughout. But now they're in a band that's just like, I think we're probably. I think Will and you are probably of the same age as the Turnstile guys. They're not a youth-centric band, or they're not like young guys, but they do inspire the youth. And this is the sound that the youth is gravitating towards, and
it is.
That's what. Okay, that's what. Whether I like it or not, and I do like. For the record, I do like. I'm not against it. I do think that Turnstile is an incredible. It just kind of uses them as an example. But I think they're an incredible band that can write incredible music. And if that's what the youth says is hardcore now, and that's what they're vibing with, like, that's what it is. It is what it is. It ain't my decision as a 35 or any soul person's decision really. But for a lot of words to say, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
I feel like hardcore, punk, whatever you want to call it, has kind of always been a genre for, I don't know, I don't want to say struggle, maybe like the disenfranchised, people who have a real reason to be pissed off.
The anger,
and,
for sure.
And want to get in there and get punched in the jaw and get that release out, like there's something about that. Like, cause you can listen to recordings of like bands that you're talking about, Black Flag and stuff, and they don't sound great. Like I can't like just sit down and listen to old band like Minor Threat recordings or
like really old in a club off of mixing board,
like the quality or whatever. But then I can't imagine what it would be like to see those bands live and the energy. Like the closest I probably come is like seeing Ceremony, like the shit that
especially at the time, those bands. I mean, you're talking so long ago. Shit like that was unheard of.
And I was talking to someone about the new wave of like hardcore, and it's not just for those people anymore. I mean, those people I think are always going to be. I say those people. I feel like I'm one of them. I was homeless. I grew up on a farm. I don't fucking know. Where am I going with this? Oh, but there's like a merger now where it's like, cool, some dude is able to buy like a rig that has that tsunami style sound. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And now they are in it just as much as the dude who doesn't have the rig and is playing like banana riffs.
Sure.
Know?
Yeah.
So it's cool how everyone's merging together to make this one like cool thing, and I don't think it's always been that way. If it has, I don't know.
Sure, no, you're not wrong, and I see it. I think the true testament to this is big fests. So you look at like Furnace Fest, even like Sound and Fury, which Sound and Fury is straight up
hardcore,
a hardcore fest.
Yes.
But Tsunami headlines.
Yeah.
Drain, which is more like crossover thrash, plays.
Yeah,
Terror.
Saw Drain last year. They were
incredible.
Great.
But then you have bands that are like Anxious, that are more like a Revelation Summer, or like a '90s almost emo vibe, also playing. I mean, there's like shoegaze adjacent bands. There's like Peeling Flesh is played, and so I think the larger world is, or at least a lot of in festivals, which kind of are tastemakers, if you will.
Yeah.
Where like if Creeping Death, Gatecreeper, Peeling Flesh, Sanguisugabog are playing a hardcore fest, but so is like Gulch and Ceremony, and I'm trying to think of like a more like hardcore punk band. I'm blanking. I could probably pull up the flyer. My ADHD's getting the best of me. But there's hardcore is just looking at hardcore. Hardcore is like in a cool area where there's less, where a dude who likes Minor Threat can also like Tsunami and it not be like, oh, this is not allowed. This isn't too metal.
Right. That definitely used to be a thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And you look at Furnace Fest and like that lineup is
wild.
All over the place. It's all over the place. Or at least to people who are very familiar. I mean,
new, old, every genre you can imagine under the heavy category.
From the lay person, they might look at it and be like, "That's all screaming music," but like whatever.
Bro, they had May.
But yeah.
Fucking May is there. It's not all screaming music.
Correct. Yeah, they also have like platinum artists on there or whatever. When records when
so
CDs were selling. Dudes that were moving like hundreds of thousands of units.
Literally.
So I think it goes to show that, but a band like Mindforce can play when I think maybe that might not have been as acceptable pre-COVID era. It would have been been viewed as, this is weird. This is like,
it's a lot more accepting in all of it.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think for the better.
Me too. Even if you don't like it, go.
Yeah, there's
go 12
5 stages
over and find
okay.
another fucking thing. Yeah, that's what's beautiful.
You'll be
about
fine.
it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Or bitching about who got the main stage or something. It's like, to me, I'm like, some bands shouldn't play a main stage. They don't have a main stage sound. Like at Furnace Fest in particular, they have a thing called the Shed, and a lot of bands, you're like, that's where you should be.
Sure.
Like, you belong here, and you're playing in front of a few thousand people, and it is unruly
because they put out that vibe.
Yes,
right?
They put out that vibe. It's like, they did it to a band this year. And it was like they were playing the main stage, and it was like, this is kind of sad because it's not no one's vibing with it. But if they'd have been 100 yards that way, it would have been out of control.
Yeah, Orthodox is coming to mind. Didn't they reach out to you and say, hey, put us in a small spot?
Yeah, so Orthodox I think is doing, and I could be wrong here. And this, by the time this episode drops, the show would have. You know what a sick show that was, wasn't it?
I love that. Yeah.
But anyway, so I got to lean into the bit. But yeah, Orthodox. I think they had a tour planned with the Ghost Inside.
That's right. You're right. Yeah,
and it fell through the tour
thing.
Canceled. The whole tour canceled.
And they had like all that merch and stuff that they had bought for it and shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I saw the photos.
Yeah. And so they ended up getting added to a Gideon tour, but they with like 2 weeks notice. So this is them like with 2 weeks notice or whatever, routing to that Gideon tour. And they wanted to come through and play Little Rock. So my band Terminal Nation recently played with small little Southeast run with them. And we became friends. I will say, shout out Orthodox and Wielded Steel. Both those bands goated.
Hell yeah!
I kept hearing the term goated that whole weekend, and now it's just in my vernacular. I try to push against it, but both goated bands. But they wanted to come through Little Rock for sure, and they were like, it's last minute, so like the smaller the room, the better. I believe. I think.
Is it Will's house?
No.
Oh,
it's a Monday.
I pushed for it, but yeah,
it's
a
Monday. Yeah.
But we're doing EJs, and
I'm sure it will be absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Pretty close to sold out, I think already. So
it'll sell out.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah.
No, wait, it did. It did sell out.
Oh,
That's
it did.
This is past tense
for sure.
But what you were talking about, like a band that could play big spots, but then they're like, we want to play a little spot.
I love
it's
it.
because they fucking know.
Everybody knows it's the best. If only you could make a living playing fucking living rooms, dude.
If
sick.
Norma Jean is a band that's too big to be playing in houses, and they did a house show tour.
That's what I'm saying.
Not that long. Yeah,
Foo Fighters
a few
did
years
it.
ago. A house show tour?
Yes, they did a garage tour.
Yeah, garages there.
Huh.
That's nuts.
Like, imagine.
That's nuts.
You're 6 feet away from Dave Grohl, and you're in some stranger's garage.
I
and there's only 100 of
I
you.
talked to Will about this not that long ago, and I cannot say the band's name because I don't know if it'll come to fruition or if it's set in stone or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there's a band, a hardcore band, that is way too big to be playing house shows only. And they want to do a tour that's exclusively just house shows.
See, because they
More
know it's
people
going to be
need to do-
sick.
yeah, more
because they know it's gonna be lit.
It's,
and like,
it's not for the money at that point. It's for the fucking
yeah,
experience.
and this band, yeah,
I respect it.
yeah, this band doesn't. I mean, I'm sure they're probably not hurting in terms of finances for a hardcore band
Right,
going in.
right.
But for them, they're like, well, we want to do something where we can play like intimate shows, and like our band has grown to the point where we can't do those small shows, or like, you know, it's not even our say anymore of the shows we're getting added to or the rooms we're getting booked in, or we get booked in a room and it's a big room and it sells out, so then we got to move to a bigger room, and then that sells out, so we got to move to a bigger room, and then that, you know, that's the comfortable spot, and it's like, that's not really, like, obviously it makes sense and it helps us out in a lot of ways, but that's not the roots of where I grew up in. So I want to just do this thing where it's like we announce the show 2 days before the
for
the
funsies,
show,
yeah,
and,
absolutely.
yeah, and it's
That's sick.
I want to say they maybe pulled a couple sponsors and the tour might be free.
Just
None of this
Whoa.
none of this is
Huge if true.
announced or anything. And,
Allegedly,
and I
right?
think it's still in the rumor, or it might be in the building stages, but it's not like in the works
That's gonna
yet.
be a crazy dream show.
Can we edit? I hate this guy.
You can't hear Kurt anyways.
Okay, cool.
Barely. It comes across like a whisper. Yeah, for sure. Because he knows the mics are gated, but he still yells anyway.
Okay, all right.
We have
I'll let that one
We
slide.
have Kurt's mic. It's just over here.
Oh yeah, it's a wireless.
Yeah.
We don't plug it in.
So, speaking of shows,
Do we want to talk about that show real
yeah,
quick?
fuck yeah, let's get it on the top, dude.
Cool.
Because then that can lead into...
Yeah, we got plenty of
I
time.
mean, we're just vibing too. So,
Yeah.
so I've had this idea. What's up?
Hold on,
You
I
gotta
want to
say-
say how
please.
I heard about it. So we were at the award show.
Okay.
Kurt is looking at someone's phone, and I'm mingling or whatever. It's over, and Kurt goes, "Hey, Corey, you're gonna need to see this. We're not doing the thing we were gonna do now." I was like, "What? Well, why?" And he goes,
what's the thing?
"You'll see." Well,
Oh yeah,
were
we need
doing,
to talk about that first.
We were
before we get
doing comedy night. We were gonna do our first comedy
Oh,
show.
okay. On that night?
Yeah, I was already
Who
in the
says you
works.
can't? I mean,
No.
No, I mean,
'Cause
like,
you know where I'm
let's-
gonna be is fucking there.
I'm the guy that says let's combine the shows, but
He goes, "You're gonna want to see this," and somebody brings their phone over, and I was like, it just looked like a bunch of. I was like, wait, and then I read the date, and then I started actually reading. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, well, we gotta tell Trade no one can have a show. This is fucking insanity. No one's gonna be anywhere. This is fucking nuts.
If you guys want to get up and do some comedy after the sets, I don't give a
in
fuck.
between, yeah. I think so.
I don't know how the vibes would go.
Yeah,
but
me either.
I'm
I
down
don't
to
know if it-
experiment.
Yeah, that's true. But this whole show is kind of an experiment, if we're being honest. So I wanted like a block party.
It's a dope experiment.
Hangout vibe that's basically like the end of the year, end of 2024 Little Rock.
So we should do this every
hardcore
year.
punk.
That's brilliant.
I agree. Now I didn't think about a block party and like cookout vibe, how that'll work in December, being cold. But
We got jackets,
yeah,
dog.
yeah,
As
there
long
you-
as
there
it's
you go.
not 3 feet of snow, we'll be all right.
But I kind of had this crazy idea of like, and I say I had it, but I think Philadelphia, like the hardcore scene there, does this every year, like in the summer, where they'll have bands that are like within the hardcore world and adjacent, but it'll be like 15 bands in a day, and they're just like rapid fire sets, shorter sets, whatever.
Everyone's
Would it be
using the same
Yeah,
shit.
would it be like I mean, I want to say the lineup, at least the one that comes to mind from a few years ago, is like Gridiron, Jesus Piece. Did Blacklisted play when they were kind of doing surprise sporadic sets? Outer Heaven. So it's like and those are just like the top 4 out of like 20 bands, and every band is like a heavy hit. I mean,
it's from fucking Philadelphia. Yeah.
So, but they do like the hardcore barbecue, and I'm like that's a really cool idea. I've always thought, wouldn't it be cool if our scene was big enough to do that? Maybe one day, who knows? Yeah. Well, looks like we might have ham-fisted our way there. I mean, with the amount of bands that we have in just the hardcore scene alone.
You could have a whole festival just on the bands here now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Actually, it's kind of wild to think about. But yes, that's kind of what this is.
Like 2, you and one other band. And now it's fucking. Yeah. It's most of it. It became most of the bands. Bands don't start new bands like what I'm doing. They start new bands like what y'all are doing. That's the truth.
Yeah, you're right.
That is what they're doing.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I guess like in the sense like to piggyback or to circle back to what we were talking about earlier with hardcore being a youth-centric movement, like good. I want the young kids to come up and be like, hey, I want to do what Second Life is doing. I want to do what Morbid Visions or what Death Rattle is doing or whatever. Yeah. Like that's the band that I want to be. And like I've heard those quotes verbatim before. So like that's cool. That's cool to see that. And now we're at a point where
I just want to read the list off just so I can rattle off no, you go for it.
All right. Little Rock Hardcore benefit show for the Central Arkansas Harm Reduction Project, featuring Morbid Visions, First to Burn, Terminal Nation, Chain Snatcher, Bite, Threat, Mazenko, Blast, Dryer Fire, Death Rattle, Penalty, and Second Life. At my house, Saturday, December 28th at 7 p.m. Please, for the love of God, bring money. Because while it is cool that we're just doing this, I think it's even cooler that we're doing it for like a reason. And the older I get, the more I like to play shows for a reason other than just to get up there and play drums. I don't know. But yeah, what's funny is Stan saying he had that idea. I like separately had that idea, and I remember posting it to my Instagram story, just like, because I don't have a notes app, I just send myself text messages.
Oh my gosh, I wish you could see my own text message myself.
Mine's like measurements and shit. I posted this thing, and I was like, and I can create a shirt, and it'll be just for like that one night. And I just posted it to my story to get some feedback, and everyone who saw it was like, that would actually be pretty fucking cool.
There's going to be merch for this?
Well, yeah, I'm going to make a t-shirt. I'm going to make 2 t-shirts. Because usually, like
a tour shirt with all the bands on the back or something.
We're gonna do that.
Oh fuck it, yeah. Fuck yeah, I'll buy that.
Shout out Brooke for designing all that and
help
me with all that.
Get a couple 3XLs in there so I can buy one.
Okay,
just get one. Okay, fuck it.
But the design, because it's just gonna say like LRHC.
We got 4 3XLs in this room.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's gonna say like LRHC, and I like it because usually like, when you buy a Mazenko shirt or Terminal Nations, like it's really cool to support that one band. And I think the vibe is you're supporting the whole scene.
Yeah.
But this is just going to be a shirt that like literally out front, this is a scene shirt, a community shirt, like you're not just having to like pick one artist out of it to, to throw your money at. And I don't know. I'm fucking stoked.
That's it. I mean, the lineup is fucking. I started giggling when you were naming it off. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it should.
It's everybody.
Yeah, and it should be pretty smooth because all these bands have played hundreds of shows,
and they're all playing on your drum kit.
Yeah, we're gonna share my shells unless someone is absolutely like, I cannot play that fucking drum set. I'm gonna be like, okay.
That's the beauty. Well, I was gonna say that's the beauty of hardcore. As we talked about earlier, hardcore's ever evolving. So there are drummers that are like, no, I need this Rush, this Neil Peart drum kit, which is fine.
I'm just picky. I have to have.
I know, like typically hardcore punk drummers or musicians are like, oh, gear sounds good. Y'all got any gear? Y'all got any of that backline?
We don't own any. Yeah, we're poor.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked, and it kind of worked out because I didn't know we were going to do it for Central Arkansas Harm until I think it was someone in one of my band chats was like, hey, we should do it for this. And then I saw, I think one of Stan's Instagram stories talking about how he's involved in Central Arkansas harm reduction. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Hell yeah. Let's just do that because it's like full circle. It'll wrap around. Like,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I love doing charity shit. I think the last one Second Life did was the, Hardcore Against Hunger that we did in Conway.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really fucking cool.
Is that this year? Last year?
I don't remember.
In time moves so fast.
Yeah.
Could have been
So
10 years ago.
fast.
25
I don't
years ago.
remember.
Who knows?
And yeah, and thankfully I'm in bands. I mean, I don't think anyone's not in bands with people who like to do this shit, but anytime I have an idea of like a t-shirt and I'm like, cool, we're going to give it to, Children's Protection Services, or we're going to give it to someone, some charity,
proceeds.
Buddy's old charity, we just wrote him a check after we sold our shirts. Like, I love doing that shit. And I'm fortunate enough to like have everyone always agree. Like, no one, there's never any pushback. Right. So I love that shit.
I think that might be just you. People being in a band with you, they understand that it comes with a certain thing.
No, but that's good though. I think hardcore and punk has always been about standing up for those that need standing up for. And building community. I think that's one of the key pillars of hardcore. To me, it's always been.
That's one thing Arkansas is kicking ass at.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is community. This has community
we
written all over
rule
it.
that community over.
And so I think that's cool. I love how Second Life is very selfless in how they operate their band. And there's a lot of other bands that do the same thing. Where it's like
definitely.
Dude, we've given up profits for a lot of stuff.
Dude,
All the time,
totally.
It just makes you feel good, and it makes them feel good. It's win-win. You get a better show out of it too. Like, everyone's involved. It's okay to feel good about doing good things, right?
Sure, yeah. Why not?
It's nice.
We didn't pick aggressive music to make money, anyways.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
If I did, the most I'm gonna make is like a subtle living, like slightly better than gas station attendant. It's fine.
The way that my band Terminal Nation operates is that we make enough money to continue to sustain ourselves, where we can continue to pay like for merch or go to the studio
right.
or whatever. Recording projects to where we're not coming out of pocket for anything that the band wants to do. Oh, we got asked to do a run. We need a van. We need merch. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Well, let's pull a few thousand and get all that together. Where we have that. But for the most part, we're not and maybe I'm telling secrets out of turn here. We're not laughing all the way to the bank or whatever. And we've been involved in enough, just like Second Life, probably more than you can count in like My Hands to War. A lot of the crashcast stuff, charity funding, benefits and things like that. And I think that's super cool. And it's probably again, if I were to ask you, hey, what's the dollar amount you think that you've donated? Nobody at this table could answer that. I think I tried to come up with a number one day. I think when Terminal Nation kind of had a little bit of a spike in popularity when we dropped our LP, there was people that weren't familiar with us from afar who were like, fuck, this band ain't shit. They put out this album talking about political things, but who knows if they're really about it, blah blah blah. And so me just being like, as
kind of validate that you are fucking about it.
Sure. And I probably shouldn't pay those
you should never read
those
the
naysayers,
comments, bro. It's so bad.
any attention. But as a wise man once said, or as a wise band once said, "Dying fetus, I'm the wrong one to fuck with. Don't challenge me." So I started doing math, and I'm like, okay, we did this benefit compilation, this benefit shirt, this benefit, this show, and I'm like, on this compilation, and I started adding up, and I'm over $50K, and I was like, you know what? I don't have shit to prove to anybody, so I didn't need a hard number. It's just, I think it's just doing the I don't want to say the expected duty of being involved in a hardcore band that's about community and helping others out. I mean, I think it's I don't think it should be a bragging point, but at the same time, I think a lot of these bands
brag,
should.
You don't have to feel bad about it.
Totally.
You can be proud of it.
Totally. A lot of bands. I think it's cool to help out others.
Yeah,
let's make that fucking. Let's make that
should
cool.
just be a human fucking thing.
That should be not even hardcore. That should be
just be
that should be the thing that rocks about being a person. Is you help out others who need it.
And it's cool that we're in positions where we can
do it.
Use what we love as an outlet to help others.
Correct. Yeah.
I fucking dig it.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I struggle a lot financially, and I'm still got it better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still have it better than most of the fucking planet.
Sure.
So, like, doing all right, man. Yeah. It's good.
For sure.
Good.
I've had my struggles over the last few years, and
yes, you have.
With my house kind of being hit by a tornado,
a couple of trees, a tornado, whatever.
And so it's kind of put me upside down financially a few times.
Truck getting rocked by another truck.
But all that I believe that all that will work itself out in the wash. And there's been people that are like, you wanted us to do a benefit show, and I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, if you want to come by my house and like cut a tree up, cool, I'll take that. But like, I don't want to do a benefit show because there are people out there. I don't know. I'm not trying to take away, but I don't know that I need it. In hindsight, maybe I should have took like 10 of them. And I think that's the beauty in like community and hardcore and punk is we're not talking about millionaires who are donating money to these things. We're talking about people who are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
We're talking about people who have their own
own
financial struggles, but also they see community as a bigger picture, and I think that's really cool.
It's cool as fuck how a bunch of broke people can help a bunch of broke people do really cool shit. You know what I'm saying? It's wild,
but it's fun too. Like I love being in a band, and like
same.
I mean, everyone around this table, I think we're all like, yeah, I would do this for free. Again, maybe I'm telling tales out of turn.
I could just break.
I've spent money to do this, so to have
much money,
so to have to break even, cool. To not only break even, but have enough left over to, be able to just help out things. That rocks. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful.
Talk about your organization.
Okay, yeah. So Will mentioned earlier that I'm involved in the Central Arkansas Harm Reduction Project. For those who are or are not familiar, it's been going strong since 2019, I believe. But earlier this year, I joined the board of directors for Central Arkansas Harm Reduction Project, and so I know we've talked a little bit about ADHD and like community and this, that, and the other. But being a part of a board of directors, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome kind of creep over me, where I'm like, do I okay, like I've helped out the organization, attended benefits and things like that, but I'm like, do I have what it takes to be a decision maker here? And I everyone has to remind me, yes, you do, I guess, to the point where I got to stop pushing back against my own self-criticisms, I think. So without having like a designated role or whatever, but I kind of have with other folks. Shout out to Deidre, Lauren, on the board. They like are good event planners. We'll say that. And so I mean, I've been booking shows since I was in high school, in the back of the class with a BlackBerry. And like some agent is emailing me a contract because I booked. I can't remember. Maybe it was Touche and More. And I believe in senior high school. But I booked them. But this was, and then they popped and got big. And he sent me the wrong contract. Maybe it was their manager or whatever, because they were routing to meet with a band called Thursday. But he sent me a Thursday contract, and I was like, yo, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to. He sent it to me via MySpace message just to put a date to date the conversation. I think if all this, and I may be thinking about a different show, but I was like, I don't think you meant this for me. Plus, I'm not in like St. Louis, Missouri, so this is is not right. But I was like, oh, well, but this guy does work with contracts. So then he sent me another contract. I was like, let me just not respond to this. The band still came. They still got paid. They still got taken care of. So it is what it is. But I was, looking at contracts that had like numbers on them that were more than what I paid for like my first car in high school or whatever. So I guess that's got to count for something. But right now, and I don't think it's any secret, again, not to give you guys a peek behind the curtain, but I don't think anybody can dispute that the governing bodies that be, what is about to happen right now?
I'm just smelling
Okay,
it.
okay.
He's been doing it this whole time.
Yeah, he's got to hit that deadlift.
You got to get this away
Get
from
the
me.
salts. So the governing bodies that be, and that will be, and I'm speaking very broadly, but for the most part, operate or will be operating on a very fear-based way of thinking, and they ain't funding things like Central Arkansas Harm Reduction.
Sure.
And so we're going to be relying. This started out as a grassroots movement, and will be operating as such, for quite some time. There's grants and stuff out there, but it really relies on community. We've talked a lot about community, but it relies on support. If you want to donate to Central Arkansas Harm Reduction, you can go directly to stopdeaths.com. That'll take you to the donation page. Also, this weekend, I opened up a Central Arkansas Harm Reduction merch store. We have stuff on hand, and we have stuff for pre-order to support the organization. And I know people hear a lot about harm reduction, and I don't know that I'm the best expert. Again, like the imposter syndrome creeps in or whatever. But I don't know that I'm the best expert to tell all the tales of it. But I don't. But the beauty of this and the way that organization is ran, the way that I think the hardcore scene is things are very laterally spread out. I don't like to think that there's a hierarchy of like, and I make joke with Termination all the time, but I'm playing like a wrestler's gimmick, if you will. When I say things like Termination versus everybody, I do believe like the music scene, this organization's like our community, do operate on a very like lateral level, where like the hierarchy is kind of, for lack of a better word, not a complete. It's not a complete hierarchy where it's like, okay, this person answers to this person and this person answers to this person, and then we got the the peasants at the bottom, like you would see on like Mad Max or something. So it's all about like kind of everybody coming together. What do you got? What do you bring to the table? Let's hear you out, kind of thing. And I had a. Damn it, the ADHD is kicking in. But I had where I was going here. But I will say so. Like community support is super important to keep this thing alive for people that are not. I think I'm getting back on track here. I'm Mario Karting the little cloud thing is putting me back on the track.
The lack of two.
Yeah. There you go. To kind of piggyback on like lateral, just like a lateral hierarchy, if you will, or a lack of a hierarchy. We all can rely on each other to have each other's backs when we need it. We don't have to rely on like governmental bodies and or corporate sponsors or grants, and while those things have their place and can be good, it's the community that we need right now to keep this going. And that community, a lot of times we'll talk about community, we're talking about the music scene, we're talking about other things, but for those who aren't familiar maybe of the concept of what harm reduction is, and there's a lot of, we live in a disinformation age. There's a lot of things out there that intentionally try to push misleading narrative, maybe intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, because they've been kind of fed, untruths, if you will.
Sure.
But so there's a lot of people or folks out there that will try to push like untrue narratives at intentionally or unintentionally. about harm reduction, where you'll hear things like, it encourages people to use drugs, blah blah blah, and it's not that. So community and support, I think, doesn't end with people who are like-minded as you. You can be straight edge and still support harm reduction. You can be somebody who doesn't use drugs and still support harm reduction. You can be somebody that doesn't like the thought of other people using drugs and still support harm reduction. So it's harm reduction is just that. Just take the two words at their core definition. It's reducing harm. So if I were to go skydiving, I'm not going skydiving, I promise you. But if I were to go skydiving, I'd have okay. Well, would you have a parachute with you?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I would say that's harm reduction. Now, there's people who've jumped out of planes and lived, so it's not impossible that you could go skydiving without a parachute.
Right.
Would it be the safest way to do it? Now, and I hate the terminology. So I'm going to use a lot of terminology that I think is kind of silly, but this typically this is going to be aimed at those maybe who aren't as familiar.
Right.
But for risk-taking activities, yeah, you would probably wear your parachute because skydiving is a risk take. There's some risk involved there with going skydiving. A parachute will not eliminate, but a parachute will reduce the maybe the some of the worst possible outcomes. Now there's people that are like, well, using drugs or certain drugs, that's illegal. Well, legality has never always correlated with morality, and so why should we?
Especially when it comes to drugs.
Sure. Why should we allow people who are doing illegal things? Why should we kind of enable them to continue to do that? Well, this is not enabling people to use drugs. This is enabling people to stay alive. So.
You can't just quit some of that shit.
Yeah. Oh, there's certain drugs that you can't just quit cold turkey. And to be clear,
you'll die quitting cold turkey. Even alcohol.
Yeah.
That's why liquor stores stayed open during COVID, because people will die.
Look at Prohibition. What happened there when it was outlawed? Like, things got more dangerous. Things got worse. It made things worse for other people.
I think they should make all drugs legal. But I think we should have to.
It's a radical idea, but I don't know that I necessarily disagree with you.
I think there's a better way to do it. Putting people in prison isn't working.
There you go. There you go. That's
let's try the other way for a little bit, and maybe just maybe that's wrong, and somewhere in the middle is right. But what we're doing ain't fucking it.
Yeah. Yes. And I did say radical, and I didn't mean that in a negative way. I like radical ideas.
I like radical
because condoms used to be a radical idea.
That's right.
And now
it depends on what area you're talking, right? Because they've found condoms from a couple thousand years ago.
Sure,
and
totally.
then they don't use them, and then they do, and
that's,
we lose information sometimes.
Yep. And that's also part of. I mean, contraceptives and safe sex is also part of harm reduction as well, but which is a lot more accepted now. You can go to any gas station or grocery store or whatever, and get them as you should be able to, because people have learned that. People are going to have sex. I know everyone wants to. There are not everyone, but there's demographics of people that want to push abstinence. But abstinence in terms of drug use can be a part of harm reduction. It's not that it's
another tool you can have.
Yes,
but it only works on those willing to accept it.
Correct. It's not for everybody. And
it certainly wasn't for me.
To look at healthcare, like drug use should not be considered a moral flaw on someone's character. Right. And a wise man, Serge Tankian of System of a Down, once said, all research... he did say that. Grab another brush.
Sorry.
But Prison Song, the opening track for Toxicity by the band System of a Down, he said... All research and successful drug policy shows that treatment should be increased and law enforcement decreased while abolishing mandatory minimum sentences. So we've looked at this country for too long has looked at drug use as these are the bad people. There's probably a larger conversation to be had about why. Because maybe it's because we want to fill the prisons up to utilize them for slave labor or whatever the case may be.
You don't say.
But
the fact that private prisons exist.
The fact there's prison.
That's been in my lifetime, I do believe.
Yeah.
I think that only started in the 80s.
Yeah, there's like, oh, you can go and let me trade my stock on this particular prison.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Fuck.
But we just want to meet people at the level that they're at and provide them empathy, compassion, and care.
Yeah. And it gives them a
deserve.
place to be safe about it, or if they want to get off. I never knew a hardcore drug addict that wanted to keep doing it, for the most part.
Sure, yeah,
Minus
for sure.
meth. That's the only one I'm like, there's no help. There's no hope. I don't know. But maybe it's because
there is hope, yes, but you're not. No, I get it. You know, I get that, and
but
yeah,
road mapping people to prison just keeps doing drugs. I mean, the drugs, which also we should.
yeah, correct. 100.
There's no like, they're not drug free there, right? The drugs get in prison so easy.
Yeah.
So that's not helping them at all. There's no rehabilitation.
There's the word. There's no rehabilitation in criminalization.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yes.
And it also creates endless drug wars, not for just us, but other countries where we get them from. All that shit. We all know about all that. So it's like, it doesn't do anybody any good, and it hasn't for a long time. I don't know, man. I hate to get too political, but it's like we got to do something different.
Yeah, correct. And I think
it's not working
right
at all.
And Corey, you know this about whenever he starts getting on about something, you start to explode.
Because I have a lot of fucking dead friends because of this.
Correct.
And they wouldn't be if it was for
it's
not feeling like
shame.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shame.
It is shame. That's the greater word for the whole thing. It's like feeling like a criminal, feeling shameful about doing what they're doing. Like they think everyone's looking at them like you're fucking less than or you're not as good or whatever. And it's like none of that's true.
Correct.
And if I could just beat the fuck out of you for 9 seconds so you wake up and hear me.
There is a demographic that does view it that way.
There is.
Sure.
There is.
Especially in the South, I think.
But I mean, yeah, but this happens everywhere. I think it's and
true.
and theirs
yes.
is indoctrinated too, like they were just brought up that way. So it's like you have to change it. And maybe, people see things, actions speak louder than words, always have, always will. So maybe if people start getting better because we change things, because they're only getting worse the way we have them. I mean, the drug epidemic is getting worse.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fentanyl is killing everybody. Mm-hmm. And now their tolerances are going up. I was reading about this the other day. Tolerances are going up, and it's getting even more crazy.
And see, that ties back into what Stan was saying.
Sorry. No. I appreciate That's good. That's good.
How the, city and the state should be dumping money into something like this, but they don't want to.
I think we're pushing a Little Rock Cop City or whatever, like a John Wayne fantasy of.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. We could be pushing social programs. And I do know that the police departments have sometimes they have like social workers that should be there for issues involved, like health issues, which drug use should be viewed as a health issue versus a criminal issue. And so for things like overdoses and stuff like that, we don't necessarily need a guy with a gun to show up to an overdose.
Oh, true, right. Right.
And stuff like that.
Or maybe in conjunction with, let's just start somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's not go one way or the other. Let's just start with you both show up, and then we'll see from that point.
Sure. And then somebody take like a social worker, or somebody, counselor, a person who is, firefighters carry naloxone.
Right, or
and they're first responders, EMS. I think if we're dealing with an overdose issue, like a situation that involves an overdose, like I said, maybe we don't need a guy with a gun there. Right. Maybe an EMS personnel to. I think regardless of what got you to the point of needing emergency care, you should be given the same empathy and compassion that anybody who nees emergency care,
like someone who was in a car crash or something.
Correct.
like that.
Correct. To circle to car crashes, by a show of hands, like live studio audience in the camera. By a show of hands, how many people have ever done 80 on I-30? The speed limit's 70. Well, at least in the general
on I-30,
Little
my top speed on I-30 was 147. I like to go fast.
On the way to Texas?
Yeah.
Okay, so not on the bridge.
No, not on the bridge. No.
I wasn't trying to get
Maybe
you
on
to
a couple of bridges.
admit to crime on the podcast here, but
Hey, my high speed on I-430 is faster.
rumor has it. Yeah, rumor has it. Listen, I was at the dealership the other day getting work done on my car, and the guy that works there knows that I've been looking for a Nissan GTR.
Yeah, you have.
But the market is insane right now for them. But there was
has
a
been.
370Z, the new one, the Nismo, and I sat in it and I fired it up, and he was like, and I was like, dude, now's not the time. Now's not the time. but that thing was bad.
We just got a Porsche delership.
Yeah, I know.
Saw
we
my
did,
first
we did.
one
Yeah,
yesterday,
well,
and it was
I don't
all
have
in
Porsche
fucking
money, but-
ass, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Down Chenal.
Yeah, it was.
Woo!
And so, but just to like, if you do 85, 100 on the interstate, and you get in a car accident, should we remove every safety? Oh, and your car's on fire and you're upside down. Should we not put that fire out because you probably shouldn't have been breaking the law? Or if you have a ticket of going reckless driving, going over 100 on the interstate,
right.
Should we remove your airbags and your seatbelt so that if you're gonna perform these risk-taking activities, do we need to make it as dangerous and increase the chance of death as much as possible?
Which is everyone on the road, by the way. No one's going the speed limit.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's an absurd concept, and if like, I don't think that anybody would agree with that. If you've
Except
done
Will.
71,
Will's so straight edge he goes the speed limit.
he goes under 10 under.
I'm putting that in my joke
if you
book.
go,
I'm the worst straight edge guy.
the third X is driving the speed limit.
He's been sniffing whiskey this entire episode.
I just bought a shot over the weekend. I was like, here, please let me smell it first.
smell it.
Here's a shot for the love of God.
God, why do you like that?
What is it,
Sorry-
honey?
sorry to interrupt.
No,
It's
you're fine.
Tennessee
But
whiskey.
it's just about looking at things through a more compassionate and empathetic lens, and I don't think that anyone can put up a point. I don't know that there's a point, and I'll hear it. I'll hear people out, but I don't think that anyone can make the argument that that's a bad thing. You mentioned earlier that you didn't want to get too political. I do think that this does transcend politics. Not to quote.
Sure, some
Jelly
things do.
Roll.
Some
but,
things do. Hey, Jelly Roll, man, shout out to him.
But he had a very articulate, well thought out, and compassionate, and I think well-meaning speech in front of a lot of politicians last year, I believe, about the opioid crisis.
Yeah, I saw it. It was very good.
And it's dude, it almost brought me to tears.
Same.
For a guy that I think some people maybe view him as a important artist, some people view him as a punchline. I think overall, Jelly Roll. Listen, I don't know that I know a Jelly Roll song, but I think I heard one on The Edge.
You for sure
Yeah,
did.
and I was like, this is a well written song. I will say that it's not my cup of tea, but it's a well written song.
It's not going to be that big and not be well. I mean, that's the thing about
Sure.
popular music. Like,
Totally.
we can hate it all we want, but it's
Facts.
still like they used the formula to create this. Perfect,
you're not wrong.
It's like
You're-
McDonald's French fries.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And from what I understand, though, he was like a DIY artist. This dude came from prison,
Literally from prison
for
so he's
drug related
been with
offenses,
all the crime
Yeah,
and all this stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
He's seen it firsthand.
yes, and he mentioned just having people close to him dying from overdoses that are 100 like for the most damn near 100% preventable.
True.
And that shouldn't happen. If a death is preventable, it should be prevented. That it should not. That person should still be with us. If they died from something that was preventable, it shouldn't have happened. I think that's a fair assessment.
It's almost like you have basic human compassion.
Yes. That's it. And here's the thing: there's people on both. In America, it's both sides. It's not It's not multifaceted, maybe. But even on both sides of the aisle, like I guess if you follow any sort of ideology, you do kind of on the political compass, whatever, wherever you're at, we all know either you or you know somebody, or you love somebody, you care about somebody that's been affected by drug use.
100%. I know so many.
Sometimes you might not even realize it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's you. Now, I think it's fair to feel pain if you see somebody who uses drugs and you want them to stop. I think that's fair.
Absolutely.
So I don't think that there's anything intrinsically wrong with that. What's not is to want that person to die. And I don't think that if there's somebody that you love that uses drugs, I don't think that you want them to die.
No.
For sure. And so
I think you might not see a way out and it makes you angry.
Correct. Yes. I think those
you still don't want them to die.
Those are valid emotions. Correct.
I think you just...
And so reducing the harm...
Especially when you don't have, like, the money. You know, like
sure.
I can't just send you to this place because I can't afford it or whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, the things like that are largely underfunded, and so it makes it hard. And so nobody, even if you're not that person, you do love somebody, you do have a family member or a close friend or whatever the case may be that is using drugs, and they will continue to use drugs if you tell them not to. If you have an intervention, whatever, they will continue to use drugs. And if they do so, you still don't want them to die, even against your own discretion, suggestion. And so to mitigate that risk and to reduce that harm, I think is super important. So we're talking like preventing the spread of HIV if we're using if there's intravenous drug use involved,
right.
With allowing them clean needles. And contrary to what certain narratives may spread, those clean needles can be used to administer insulin and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not just like, oh, this person is, using illegal drugs for this. So clean needles are a life-saving tool. There's fentanyl test strips that are a life-saving tool.
That shit needs to be on the street corners at this point.
Yeah, those need to be in gas stations.
Yeah,
and when I say that it transcends, any sort of semblance of politics, it also transcends any sort of semblance of class. A lot of media...
fentanyl's killing everybody.
Correct. A lot of media and things like that have always portrayed drug users as like being...
unproductive, unusable members of society or something.
Yeah. The narrative has always been, and so the poorer class of people is most affected. It is what it is, but and you could maybe the word is most targeted. But there's also there's some there's probably some high people who would be considered in the 1%. People that you see on the news every day. People who are running some of the largest companies that function off of drug use. Do they have a prescription for all those drugs? Maybe not. Are some of those recreational drugs? Probably so.
Who was the Canadian dude doing crack?
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, no. He's got a fucked up face, though.
You see honestly, that'd be sick if Jay Leno was just
a crackhead. It'd be amazing.
But
there's so many of them doing it, dude.
But it does transcend class as well too. To like, I don't think that.
I mean, cocaine's a vanity drug.
Correct. And so, there's folks that do cocaine that are multimillionaires that maybe they're CEOs, maybe they're politicians, maybe but they don't want to die either.
That's right.
And so I think it does while it transcends or they
McGregor's a great that dude's coked out of his fucking mind. We all know it.
But yeah, so it transcends class, and even if it's like maybe that 1%er doesn't, that 1%, that CEO or whatever, maybe they're not the one doing drugs, but they know somebody who is, or they're related to somebody who is, or they have a child who is, or whatever the case may be.
Maybe we should just stop, being like, oh, maybe not, and just start saying it out loud. Then maybe it'll change.
Correct.
We try to hide it when they're on it, but then we condemn it when everybody else is doing it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's a large conversation.
Like saying Conor McGregor's on coke. Duh. Watch the man fucking talk for 2 seconds.
Yeah, or
he's out of his fucking mind.
I
only know 2 drugs that do that, and he ain't doing meth.
A certain large scale politicians or whatever, and they're like this, whatever. But
neither here.
It's not
the fucking system.
That is the system.
Yes. Is it some people can do illegal drugs free and be absolved of any sort of punishment. Some people can do drugs that are
When you got money, there's no such thing.
some people can do some people can do drugs that are legal in large percentages of this country and the world, and be doing life sentences. This is a class issue. This is an empathy issue. This is
That's not even drugs. Take.
We just call it drug.
Yeah, take like suburban kid gets caught tagging. Cop takes him to his parents' house. Hey, don't let this happen again. Kid not in the suburbs.
Sure.
Same thing, gets put in the system immediately. Like not taken to the parents' house or nothing.
Juvie.
Just
Booked.
Booked and charged and now has a record. I hate that shit. And then I don't know if Google's the right place to go. You start looking at, because you can find out where the patrol units are, like where most of the cops are located. It's fucking sickening. I don't go back to
no. I mean, that's a larger conversation, and I think that does feed into a system that preys on the most vulnerable. And that is the war on drugs. Again, there's people who are there's people who are advocating for the war on drugs that do illegal drugs. This may come as a shock to you, but
that's the. Never mind.
It's all about who's doing the drugs. Is we got a problem with.
It's not about me doing drugs. It's about you doing drugs. I know perfectly how to handle myself on drugs. You don't. It's your fault.
Yeah. So we need you to be in this prison labor camp, so that we can make
how else we
particular
plates,
genes and yeah. So anyway, like in a nutshell, and again, I'm not the expert. I'm not Dr. Stan yet. I may get that ADHD wild hair at my ass,
bro.
But
change my name in the
but
phone.
No, I don't think you need to know everything about drug use or the law or legality or whatever to be an empathetic and compassionate person.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
a lot of people have asked me about volunteering, but I'm not really sure how harm reduction works or what it is. Blah blah blah. But I think I believe in its core value system. Cool. You don't have to know everything about it. You do not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in this world that I think you don't have to know everything about to be compassionate and sympathetic towards. Whether it's demographics of people, I don't have their lived experience. That's okay. You don't have to. But you can still meet them at the same level of compassion and humanity that you want to be treated.
Be thankful you don't have it.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
But what's cool about being a human is you can learn shit.
Yes. You don't have to your perception is your perception and it's valid, but it doesn't touch everyone. It doesn't mimic everybody else's.
That's right.
And so, you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a drug user to be a volunteer. And I think, both of those demographics have their perceptions that are valuable. But if you just are I like helping people. I don't like it when people die.
Same.
Cool. Come on. We'll be happy. Yeah. Come on over to the
wild concept.
The right side of
Hold
history.
on now, bud.
Come on over to the right side of history. So yeah, that in a nutshell, that's basically what harm reduction is. I would love to get some people on the podcast within the organization that
I think we're working on that already. Yeah. Awesome.
And so that are a little more well versed. I shout out to everyone in the organization, specifically Raheem and Alex, who are doing the day-to-day ground and pound work, MMA style, just in the trenches.
The guerrilla shit.
Yeah, in the trenches of
that.
Of keeping the organization alive. So I have so much respect, and I look up to them both so much, and the people that help build the organization to what it is. It's again, we're in a position right now where we are kind of in a rebuilding phase, and funding is extremely difficult, and so we do rely on those community efforts, and I think. If anything that I just said, if you vibe with it at all, we'd love to have you.
Do you know what the funding's
support.
for? Maybe explain it.
Yeah. So the funding basically goes to a few things. Basically getting items that the community can use. We're talking about condoms.
I gotta pause real quick.
Do I need to scoot up? Whether that's clean needles, fentanyl test strips,
Okay.
bandages, like sterile. Beautiful.
That was amazing.
Things to keep.
So the typical like things they would need for
yes, and
safe use or
correct.
overdosing,
Yes, things that would minimize.
So y'all actually hand this stuff out.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we keep the shop open. I can give you the address and the number. Because we have a line. Like if there's
a delivery, people listening know.
All right, let me find it.
Sorry. I know I did like
you're
10 things at once.
Fine.
I have ADD too.
But so we provide those services or those items, but also like do deliveries to people.
Oh, okay.
We work in tandem with other organizations.
Are there companies that have stuff just like sitting around that's available, or
it can get tricky? So there's some companies that are like, or with grant funding and things like that. There may be
like stipulations.
Yes. So where they're like, okay, we're cool with you guys doing like this and this, but maybe not needles, or maybe not fentanyl test strips, or maybe not this. And I get it, and that doesn't mean that they don't support harm reduction, but for your overall, not a fan of borders, I'm not a fan of boundaries, and maybe that's radical, but to be given funding and just say help people, I think is awesome. But to be able to provide, to back up that we are helping people, that's totally fine. But to not be constricted and say this can only go towards X, Y, or Z.
So that's where things like where this benefit show come in handy, because it's
and
unlimited.
Sure, and grant funding is a competition. It is, for lack of better words. So I'm not saying that anyone that gets it is undeserving, but it is a competition.
Yes, it is.
There's only like a pool of money.
I think if you've ever gone up for a grant, you understand how that.
Sure. And so you basically throw your name in a hat for a pool of money, and you may or may not get it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, sure. And so, like I said, funding has never been harder than it is right now. So we rely on these community efforts to do deliveries. I mean, we do HIV testing, things like that in the office. We have health fairs. We did one recently, and that can involve like mental health screening. Like I know people, and
you just get professionals to come.
Yeah. We have people on the board. Deidre, shout out, is a social worker on the board. We have Carmen, shout out, is a RN on the board. Okay. And I mean, it might be as simple as like, hey, I haven't had my blood pressure checked because I don't live in a house. I haven't had my blood pressure checked.
Right.
Before the podcast, we were talking about when's the last time you saw a doctor? When's the last time you went got a checkup? Yeah. But like,
it had been 25 years for me.
It's hard for people who are not experiencing homelessness or houselessness to get those things.
I was experiencing stubbornness.
Sure, and then I've been in that same spot as well. But even I mean, with we don't need to get into how the healthcare industry or the insurance industry is a scam in a lot of ways. But
let's not get into that.
Unless we need to book a whole weekend. But it's things as simple as that, and meeting people on their level without judgment, without care, without fear of being put in jail because you came to us and said, I use drugs, but I want to do it safely and make sure I don't die, and you don't have to worry about being put in jail. So we do like health fairs and things like that, delivering those supplies, getting those supplies. It ain't cheap.
Can't imagine that it is,
especially when they're being handed out. I almost use the word willy-nilly, but that sounds very dismissive. But when we're not here to be like, okay, what drugs are you doing? Why are you doing them? What's going on? Okay, thank you for answering this survey of extremely intrusive and unnecessary questions. Here's what you asked for. No, treating people with empathy and compassion. It's meeting them with the bare minimal abrasiveness and just saying, be safe.
Not saying you're not wrong, but if you did gather that information, couldn't you use it as statistics?
So
For
there's like
areas or hotbeds.
Sure.
So
there's certain record keeping things, and there's certain partnerships that we have where maybe if somebody is using X, Y, or Z, we have a partnership where we can maybe refer them to. They can provide additional resources and things like that. So
roadmaps.
It's that is kind of like out of my purview, but I'm learning more every day that I'm on the board. No, you're correct, but to like
it's also how
we
you
don't
go about it though.
Yes, correct.
Sure.
It's not
your intention is everything.
Yeah,
right?
it's not questionless, but it doesn't feel like a police interrogation when you go into there. It doesn't. We're not doing all right, sit down, and there's the one light or whatever.
You guys aren't just like fill this out. We'll be with you in 5 minutes, or
more like an ER thing where it's like we just need this basic information so we can get the right things and care, and we need information too because information does it does help.
Information is power.
You're not wrong.
Power,
yeah,
man.
absolutely.
G.I. Joe.
So yeah, that's it. Probably talked a little too much, but that is
it's okay.
That's what we do. Yeah, and I'm honored to be a part of the board of directors, and so a few months back we did a From Harm to Table benefit, like a 5-course meal. And
awesome.
it was sick.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. And that has helped us a lot. And then we did the benefit for Clay Fitzpatrick, who passed away. He was on the board as well. R.I.P. Great person. At Whitewater a few weeks back, Brat played, Blast played, Weeping played. It was awesome. It was a great time. It brought a lot of different demographics of people there that may not necessarily like. I want everybody to be aware of this, not just maybe our local metal hardcore punk community, although that's important too. And we have,
like you said, this is something that affects everybody from
correct,
the top to the
correct. So when we do a 5-course meal where a plate is over $100, or a ticket rather is over $100, but we do it in the Heights and that sells out, that's good.
Boom.
Because that's a different demographic of people
great.
that are maybe they are kind of loosely aware of it, maybe they're very aware of it. Maybe they don't have a clue, and we're just looking for something to do that evening. Either way, like,
I mean,
they got a little bit of education. They got to eat an awesome meal, and we want to do more things like that.
And they got to feel good.
Yes, correct,
right?
correct. And like you said, yeah. So helping out does make you feel better. So we want to do more events, not just shows, not just I'd love to do like a benefit compilation. Of like Arkansas bands. Love to put it on vinyl one day. That's in the pipeline. I have all these big aspirations of events and like ways to get funding, because that's where we're struggling the most, is attaining funding right now. And there's those things like I mentioned, like grants.
Right.
The stipulations.
The stipulations. As an old, I don't know if this is a wise person once said. Maybe they're wise, but I don't know. I don't know who said this or whatever. But there's a saying that's to make, you got to have money to make money, or some variation of that. Well, like some of these grants will be like, hey, what does your bank account look like? Because we need to make sure if we're going to give you some money that you're able to, handle money. And so.
Right, you're not just going to blow it all on like Reese's peanut butter cups or something.
Sure. As much as I would love, we'll save that. We'll relegate that for Halloween to hand out Reese's peanut butter cups. But yeah. So I want to keep doing fundraisers and benefits, and a lot of the younger, as we mentioned earlier, all this is coming full circle.
Yeah.
Hardcore is a young person's game, and a lot of these younger kids have a different approach. I know that Will can attest to this, and Will is from our era is maybe the opposite of what I used to experience of the straight edge, like asshole who was like, oh, you use drugs, you should die, kind of like mentality.
Yeah,
that was a real thing.
Yes,
like that sounds so absurd now to even think about it.
I actually forgot about those people. You're 100% right.
Or like you're drinking that beer, like I'm gonna hit you with a baseball bat.
No, they're the same, you sinner, you.
It's very similar energy.
Same.
Yeah. But I think that's not really much of a thing anymore. And the youth is coming in and being more open-minded. They're more educated when they come into the scene. They're more compassionate and they're more empathetic, it seems, at least from my perspective. And that's very, very cool because there wasn't a lot of that, especially with like straight edge folks growing up.
Can I tell a funny story?
Yeah,
Funny
please.
how that
please,
kind of goes
take it.
both
Yeah.
ways. How that's come. Like that's wild. You said that. That's crazy.
So one of my old bands got charged with inciting a riot at a bar.
Hell yeah,
Because
dude.
we were full on like, fuck this place up. Make sure they can never sell alcohol again. You know, and that's what the kids did. And the owner tracked us down, and my vocalist took the full blame and put it all in his name. And I was like, "What are you gonna do?" He was like, "I'm just never gonna go to that town again." I was like, "Fuck, dude."
Oh, you're on tour.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, it was out of town.
Wild. Okay.
And I mean, he's dead now. Rest in peace, Ernie. But you know, that's still a funny story tying back to like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And like back whenever, I mean, I'm talking 15, 17 years ago, showing my age. Straight edge was different. Like straight edge shows were not allowed in Boston at that time because those kids were so aggro about it. Salt Lake City got us put on the terrorist watch list for what they were doing.
Yes.
Like,
So you say that now, you'd be like, "What? What do you hate straight edge kids
well,
for?"
like if I tried to go to the Olympics in Salt Lake City with my 3 exes, they wouldn't let me in. You
What
know,
the
like
fuck?
the Salt Lake City straight edge really were they were more aggressive than a lot. You think about Reno City straight edge, like everyone was trying to one up each other. It seemed like, I don't know. And then there was a bunch of straight edge crews like Courage Crew 24, and like you would hear, oh yeah, Courage Crew went over there and, you know, beat up all the drug dealers and took all their money and blah blah blah. And then SoCal 24, they wanted to one up them, so they did that. Super toxic, super bad. Because I mean,
Wild.
yeah, it's wild. That's the perfect word, wild. It was wild times, and I'm so grateful now that I feel like it's evened out. Like I don't ever anticipate the No Cure, Magnitude, Orthodox, this new wave of straight edge bands. I don't see them telling kids to do this shit, you know, or making it look cool to do this shit. Because I mean, you'll get in fucking trouble, dude. Like, it's
I mean, yeah, you're causing violence.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm grateful for where straight edge is now. Central Arkansas, I think, has there's 10 of us, I think.
I mean, I'm by proxy one.
Yeah.
I was forced into it.
Yeah, there might be more. I don't know. There's a group chat. I have it muted. But
We're
I
all
hope,
in muted
I hope that
group
didn't
chats,
hurt any
it's fine.
feelings. Yeah, I mute a lot of group chats.
Same.
I hope me muting the group chat. Is that the
How
first
straight
public
edge of you.
announcement?
But yeah,
First the speed limit, now this.
and not even straight edge, just hardcore in general. Like, I don't know how the 30-year-olds were when you were 15 going to shows. They were pricks.
They beating me up.
They were
Putting me in
pricks, dude. And so I'm so grateful that like me, you, Ted, Corey, like we're,
different time.
you know, Evan, we're here because kids need this shit. Kids need the aggressive music as therapy, you know, like honestly.
no doubt. Yes, I think
It's an outlet.
yeah, we especially this day and age, we're in a world where with and some people might go at me using this, but there's a lot of like toxic masculinity out there, and I'm not going to tell any secrets. Like the hardcore scene here is mostly men. It is what it is. Like it's becoming more open and accepting for folks who are not men, and that's great, and that needs to continue. But it is mostly men, and so there's.
Yeah, but it wasn't gate kept though. I don't feel like, was it? I don't
I don't
think
know.
you were ever like, ew, girls. I figure like girls just didn't want to do it.
I don't know.
Or whoever.
I've seen girls get targeted in pits.
Really?
Oh,
Here?
Yeah,
For sure.
In California, for sure.
Oh, well, I don't know about California. I'm just speaking to Arkansas.
Sure,
so.
and I think and maybe, you know, at the time,
I've never
it
seen
was
a girl
not
on a music
viewed.
show and been like, gross.
No. Well, that's because we're like-minded.
Get out of here.
We're like,
Stupid.
yeah,
normal
we
human
in that
beings,
era.
you know?
Well, there's also that.
Actually,
but,
I've always thought it was kind of cool. It's like, oh shit, there's one.
what?
We got
There's
one.
there's a girl here, right? But it was not common. It was not commonplace.
No, it wasn't.
And
I
it may have
assumed
just
they
been the
didn't
energy
want
of the room, and the unintentionally or intentionally that this feels too like. this feels too aggressive for me.
Too aggressive. I mean, it was pretty aggressive.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And
back
so
then.
maybe just like unintentionally, not anyone's intentional doing it. Just like women, non-binary folks, felt like they didn't belong. And, and without actually somebody saying, "Hey, you don't belong here," and articulating that, it may have just been for lack of a better word, a blind spot. Like, hey, maybe this isn't as open as we think it is. And so sometimes you have to just kind of take a step back and just try to put yourself in other shoes.
Out though, right?
Sure.
Like time, because maybe you don't know. Maybe it's both. You know how sometimes when you get something in your own head, right, and you think something's a certain way,
Sure, yeah.
and then it's not that at all. The second you sit down and have a conversation, like fucking Will, I just fucking know he's mad at me, and I didn't do anything wrong. It's not even my, like that kind of shit.
Sure.
You're in a car ride home, and maybe just a few years go by, and like one person slips in, and they go, "Oh, well, that person's in there." And it's like, hey, all these people are, and maybe it's just a time problem. Because we're coming from a way different world. We don't live in the same world we used to live in. It's wildly different.
Correct. Yes.
Vastly different.
Well, I think after the first Crashcast episode that I did, you had to be like, dude, I'm glad this was so cool because I knew that you just didn't like me or whatever. I was like, brother, I looked up to you. What?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But
we learned something about each other, and I
Right.
think it was just from not having those conversations.
Right. We just never talked to each other.
Sure.
And now I talk to you all the fucking time.
Yeah. I love this dude. This
Same.
I don't think
I
there was
love
any.
almost everybody, dude. Really,
Yeah, and I don't
truly.
think there was any real animosity, but I know we can all kind of get into our own heads about assuming things without talking them out.
I'm still bad about it. Like, I still just need to be like, calm the fuck down, because I'm always like, it's usually like boils up, and then it's like, I guess it would be anger on certain levels. Sometimes it's immediate, like I'm just fucking very pissed off.
Sure.
And then I'll sometimes just need to go to sleep.
Have you seen his steering wheel?
No.
Oh, in my Forerunner? Yeah, it's beat up.
So
I have road rage.
Corey's steering wheel in his road. He talked about just getting spontaneously angry.
Yeah.
You need to post a picture of it because it's fucking
been broke down
hilarious.
for fucking
Fuck,
months,
Cut
dude.
you off and Corey would be so pissed at
Dude, there's a punch hole right in the middle of his steering wheel where it looks like you've just gone fucking at it.
It's better than the person, right? I know it's an issue.
I love it.
I work on it.
But hey,
I'm not good at
this
it.
is a perfect example. Like having rage built in you. Like there's a lot in this world to be mad about.
I'm mad about a lot of things, dude.
And so like I think
So much of things are
hardcore punk.
fixable.
Yes.
With nothing,
there is that.
truly nothing.
Yes. And do we have the power to fix them?
In mass.
Immediately, maybe not.
But without the people handling
with the
the
time,
mass.
with the time and the numbers, is it possible? I don't know, but I would love to find
Anything's
out.
possible,
I would love to find out.
I've always got that in my head.
And
Anything's fucking possible.
And one to circle back to harm reduction, one of the biggest things to me in all of this is, so I'm not a healthcare worker. I don't provide service. Like I'm not doing like the HIV testing or anything like that. Like that's not my role. But to me, one of the important things is smashing the stigma and reshaping the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like things have to evolve. Like you had just said, and at the time too, like when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, there's not a lot of women at these shows. There's not a lot of girls or a lot of non-men at these shows. Okay, like whatever. Like,
I wasn't thinking about
it.
it.
Yeah. It wasn't just like why not or whatever.
Right.
Whatever the case may be. And was it because they just didn't know? Was it because it wasn't promoted to them? Was it because they felt like they didn't belong? Or was it whatever the case may be? But what I'm getting at is things have changed. Things have changed a lot.
And there's still change.
And there's still change to be made for sure. But if you're a dude who is looking for an aggressive outlet, instead of going down like some red pill wormhole where you decide to be like a ski mask, terrorist or whatever, maybe don't do that. And I have a good outlet where you can unleash aggression in like a very healthy way, and it's called rocking the fuck out.
It's called drums. Get a drum set.
Get a drum set. Yeah, drums are a lot more fun to beat than your steering wheel. I think, right?
Yeah,
no doubt.
Drums are hard though because you can't always just practice drums.
Electronic drums.
Those are so expensive.
Not anymore. Not anymore. You can get them for $100 now.
Both of you, I'm sure, can attest to this. Hitting a drum and hitting a Roland mesh.
It's not the same.
It's not
You're
the same.
Right. It's not the same.
No.
You can't. And honestly,
drums are so like.
Also, a Roland costs so much you don't want to hit it hard. You're like, I'm going to break this.
And you don't have to. I think it's
really
intended to just be tap. But
well, because like I've had people come up and say like, "Hey, I want to learn drums," and I'm like, "You need to get a drum set," and they're like, "Well, I can't have a drum set because I live in an apartment."
Yeah, like that is an issue.
Well, then you're gonna have to get an electric drum set. Well, like,
and even that, the floor when you're hitting your foot on the floor, that's still pissing people off if you're upstairs.
Wow, never thought about that. Yeah,
it's
so
just
even electronic drums become an issue.
It's fucking new. They can be pissed.
And
I mean,
so learning drums.
Some have a noise hour. You know, like some apartment complexes have a like between 4 and 7 you can get after it.
Yeah.
But you want to be that? But you still do you want to be that asshole?
Dude,
it's
I have a
it's
problem
like all
even
these
where I
things
live,
have
and
to
I live in
line
the
up.
country.
All these things have to line up just right for you to be able to learn drums.
Will saw it when we were shooting guns. My neighbor came out and was all pissy.
Oh yeah.
Like, we live in the middle of nowhere for a reason, guy.
Yeah, that was.
Then Will felt bad. I was like,
funny.
dude, fuck him. I'm 40. I'm still like, go fuck yourself. That's why we live here. It's so we can be crazy.
That's the dream. To me. That's the dream. As a city boy. Whatever from California. I'm becoming more and more infatuated with like. Would living in the country be sick?
It's the shit.
I
don't even live that much in the country.
I like being in the city right now with my kids because they're close to their friends. There's things to do.
That stuff matters.
But
for sure.
when it's just
that's why I like
me and my
where I'm at.
partner in the house,
Yeah.
like and the kids are grown up and moved out.
Empty nesters.
Does being out in the country like appeal to me now? It never did before, but it kind of sounds like it rocks.
It's quiet out there, man.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to worry about is my neighbor.
I don't like bugs. I'm not like
I'm
not like one of those guys. Yeah. Like I'm not like afraid of bugs. They're just annoying.
They're everywhere out there.
They're just
dude.
annoying. And I have mosquito blood, if that's a thing. I don't know. I've never heard that term. Yeah. Oh, I'm fucked. I walk out. If there mosquitoes exist, fleas
too. They don't fuck with me.
My wife gets
I could just do like with fleas or whatever. There's been times where, like. We had a dog that was infected with fleas. I was living in a very small trailer at the time, growing up or whatever, and so the whole fucking house was just infested with fleas. Yeah. But then, like, my dad is just like chilling because he doesn't have flea blood. They just don't bother me. I'm like sitting on the couch trying to watch fucking Cartoon Network, and I'm just doing this. And there's just like fleas under my fingernails. I'm like, this should not be a thing. Like, this sucks. Yeah. Fuck this. This is horrible.
We need flea bombs.
Yeah, but the country seems cool. I just me and bugs. I'm not scared of bugs. We just don't vibe. We're just not on the same wavelength.
I live both. I like both. I can find things to like about.
Well, yeah. I think that's. There's that straight edge talk again.
I fuck with bugs. Bugs are cool. I like bugs.
Okay, Stefan.
I like everything. Yeah, Stefan loves bugs. I send him pictures of creatures all the time.
That's cool.
When I see an interesting one.
I went up and saw the bug display at that. I forgot what it's called. Some museum in Bentonville, and I sent him like hella pictures. He loves that shit.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Infatuated with the insects. I get it. They're interesting. They're creepy. They're interesting. I get them in my house a lot. That's another thing. They come into your house.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I get that too. So where I live is also. I mean, it's not. It's a neighborhood, but there's a lot of like wooded area. Like
it's an old neighborhood. They gave a fuck about the.
Correct. Every time I drive
now
at
they
night,
just cover it all up.
Every time I drive at night, like there's so much like wilderness with like intermixed in the neighborhood that like there's still like deer like every night. The other night,
that's like It's like my favorite thing about the way they built.
Yeah.
Like they kept
So, like,
those old trees up, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that's what did a lot of the damage when the tornado came through.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole area that's like right the area right behind my house. It's just like just leveled, and they're like, for it to grow back to what it was, it'll take 2,000 years.
Literally,
you know?
literally. I mean,
So
you think like Rodney Parham on 430, you can just see it all now. You're like, I thought. It's like it looks like a different place now. It looks like you're in Dallas or something because you can just see all the
Just
roofs.
open,
Whereas before
yeah.
it was just woods,
Yeah.
and you don't realize there's
wild.
houses behind those woods, and now that's all you see. It's
yes,
crazy.
Yes, that's a good example. Yeah.
Less than 20 tickets left to Orthodox.
So buy your tickets from the show 2 weeks
sold
ago.
out. It's sold the fuck out. Like for sure, it's sold out. When is the show this weekend?
Tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
Oh
yes,
yeah, you're good. I mean,
Yeah, we're fine.
you're fine. I have to tear out 400 square feet of tile tomorrow. I'm gonna.
What's the max cap at EJ's?
60.
I don't know. It's more than that.
Is it?
Small, whatever it
It's
is.
small.
It's small.
I've played EJ's once, and I was like, damn. Not a lot of room in here.
I don't know. Don't get me fibbing on the air. But I'm not sure. It's not.
What's the max capacity? I mean, we put 100 people in your house, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Could have easily put
Oh,
150.
no, we couldn't have.
We could have easily done a 150.
could
I
have.
was texting people left and right, being like,
Yeah.
show up.
I need, in order to start doing shit like that, I'd have to have another like exit, another door.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's we got them windows. You
I
can just
would, I would need a.
Yeah, for a private party, you
like-
don't actually need to do any of that. But
Oh yeah, you're right.
it isn't registered. I mean, I'm just saying we're smart enough to be like bust the window out. It's going.
no, a second door I think would be, and then like a bathroom.
Second door, second bathroom, and sprinkler system.
Ain't got the room for that.
Second door, second bathroom, second life.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just want to. I have an idea for a show I want to do at your house, but I don't know if you'll let me.
Is it the one you talked about with Jacob?
Yeah, no.
A different one?
This is the one with all the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, that's it. I didn't know. I didn't talk to him on here though.
Yeah, you
He
did.
did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, now I gotta think.
The full production lights.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, I want to bring it. I want to put an LED wall in your
Do it.
house.
If you're
That
gonna
would be
do,
sick.
If you're gonna do all the work and put it out.
Yeah,
and
I'll
take
do it all.
down,
I'll do it all.
Oh,
Do it.
Like the
dude,
night
we
before.
don't have
I'll
to
set
question
up.
this guy.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy is.
As long as it's a Friday or a
I
Saturday.
think it's like one of the last things I came up with in recent time where I'm like, all right, that'd be cool.
With the you built for the My Hands to War show that you did this year, the record release show.
Yeah, the record release.
You built the drum riser like for
We
that
brought in
show.
the drum. No, that's mine. I've practiced on that for years.
Oh, okay.
So like,
Did you
we
build
brought
it,
it
though?
in? No.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay,
that
okay.
one's professional. That one's for,
Okay.
yeah.
See, you could have fooled me. You could have fooled me.
I've built
It looks
them.
good.
So we brought in that. We did the projector. We hung it from that old piece
Mm-hmm.
of like tubing that's off the side of the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ratchet strapped it to it. We
Sure.
did. We put. We spent like. Well, Todd and another person spent like 2 hours putting lights in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like we screwed them to the rafters all down the ceiling. It was the most brightly lit metal show you've ever seen in your life.
Sure,
It was like
cool.
the lights were on the whole time. There was more things we were gonna do, but we just ran out of time. Like we had warming lights down the edges. I built the stage for the DJ. I did build a second stage that morning.
That's what it was. Okay.
Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
morning, and
that's
then we put
right.
lights all around it, and we had to paint it. Man, we did a lot of stuff. That shit was crazy.
Worth
God,
it,
that
though.
show was nuts.
Worth it.
Yeah.
But see, like, I mean, I don't think there's any dispute that if Will
If Will says it's okay,
yeah, that you're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's no.
Oh yeah.
I just think it would be so sick, and like just make it free. Fuck it, you're not gonna recoup any of the money it would cost to get it all done. So it's like
I'm all for that. I love. Yeah.
put
like,
100 people in there and just be ignorant for an hour.
For Second Life's EP show, I was begging Mark to let us make it $5, and he was like, "No." I was like,
Well, at a
"Come
venue, you
on."
can't do that. Like, remember, I was like, the cost it would take just to break even for the show for the venue, you'd need probably as many people that is going to show up.
$5 shows, $10 shirts. Take me back.
I'm telling you.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. I think
We are old.
with Termination, people were looking at us like, "What the fuck you guys doing?" We're selling we sold $10 shirts up until the first lockdown show.
Right.
And then they went up to 20.
20. They hit 20 like that. Every shirt went to 20.
But like, motherfuckers were selling $20 shirts in 2015.
Yeah, touring bands.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, and I guess there was times where we had toured and
Well, now it's 40.
Oh, or we would play fests or something. And we would look and everyone, and I'm like, oh, we're the only band selling shirts for 10. It'd be like 2018,
I've seen a
2019.
$60 shirt as of recent.
That's
horseshit.
crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, for like an arena show, or what are we talking?
It was a hoodie, but it was at Furnace Fest. It was a $60 hoodie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not that bad.
Fucking, I can get a hoodie all day long at Walmart for $8 fucking dollars, and I can
Totally.
print on that for fucking $2.
Yes.
It does not have to be $60 fucking dollars.
I think
that's a load of shit.
I think,
but that's what it is. So, am I going to do it for 20 or am I going to do it for 60? Of course, I'm going to do it for 60 because they're doing it too.
I was selling Second Life shirts for $10 this year.
That's fucking. I know you were. That was wild.
That's respect. That's
I mean,
what that's what it costs.
You're
to make
making
them.
$2 a shirt.
I don't give a fuck. I'm not about making the money. I just want people to
I don't know
rep
that
my
you're making
shit.
$2 a shirt. Honestly,
Only guy like you, dude. we do $4 because we get everything it costs. We're lucky in that way. We know a guy. Our bassist, his dad owns a print shop.
That's cool.
So we get everything done for the like literally the minimum.
Okay.
But
Matt, if you're listening, close your ears.
But we still did $20 t-shirts.
Dollar bills on fire.
Wills loves it.
There'll be times when people come up to the merch booth and they're like, "Oh fuck, I've got this $5 bill." I was like, "Just pick something. What's your size?"
Yeah.
Or fuck it, free. Like, I'll be like, "Will you wear it? Will you
There's
actually
nobody
wear
more
it?
about that shit than this guy.
Or is it gonna
my
sit in your
favorite
closet? Be real. If you'll wear it, you can have it. You know, like
Yeah.
I love
thing.
that shit.
Best promotion there is still a t-shirt.
Yeah, straight up.
QR codes on every one of them shits.
I do love that energy though, because as a kid, I'd be like, "Hey, I only have a finite amount of money. I mean, I still only have a finite amount of money, but like going to a show, it ain't cheap. And then buying merch, it ain't cheap.
That's
and especially if it's a younger kid, and they're like, "Hey, I
Dude,
got like
Vino's now is a $100 bill.
$8 or
If
whatever,"
you eat
and I'm
food,
like, "Oh yeah, for sure."
It's
for
a
sure.
$100 bill now.
Jesus.
You know?
The movie theaters too.
I mean,
Oh, that's
oh
been
yeah,
just
yeah.
how that's.
fun.
I mean,
Well,
I can't,
yeah,
like
oh.
speaking of family, like Stan has to, gives me anxiety, and I don't even have a family.
Yeah, it's
4 movie tickets. What do you guys do?
4 movie ticket. You're gonna get the popcorn and the
The
drinks.
popcorn, 4 drinks.
That's 2 popcorns minimum. Minimum. You're not doing a whole.
Yeah, so and they there's this. All right, we're gonna talk about the movie theater industrial complex real quick.
Dude.
But so they do this thing where where they make it a separate transaction. You buy your tickets, and then you're like, okay, that was $50-$60.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, we got to get popcorn, Coke. Okay. And then you look at it as a separate transaction. So in your brain, you don't see
right.
the final number.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. You only see 2 transactions.
Correct.
Sometimes 3
Yeah.
because you're like,
So oh, okay. Well, I was expecting to spend $100, but and then as you're checking out at the
yeah.
You-
and now
you
they
got your
serve
candy.
beer and
For sure.
pizza.
Oh, my
Kids got to
gosh.
get the Twizzies.
Yeah,
you
kids
know?
got to
You're
get the
just
beer.
like,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah. Kids.
Some of the movies maybe I got to get 2 beers, but yeah. So it's just 2 separate transactions. So your brain is like, okay, well, we only spent like $50 here at the concession stand. It's not bad. Oh, but then you forget that you bought the $60 ticket online the day before or whatever. And so you're like, oh, that was only $110. It's like, okay, cool. Well, let's not stock up too much on the snacks. Then let's cut it back. Let's make it $35-$40 because we'll go to eat afterwards. Another $100.
Another
And then you realize,
That's $100.
oh, we just spent $100
Dude, I just
for
rated this
fucking
place
4
called
hours.
K-Pot. $50. One person. It was $50.
Whoa, was it worth it?
It's
I've heard it's fantastic. I've not been.
if you got fat in your heart, it is everything you ever wanted it to be, dude. It's Korean barbecue shit, but they bring you like this soup, and it's on this induction plate. It's just boiling the whole time, and you're just. It's 2 hours. It's $50. Drinks. There's no
Stop.
free refills, bro. They just you tap a thing on a fucking iPad, and they just bring it, and you can just keep doing it.
It's like a buff.
Steak,
Wearing the
pork. It just, dude, noodles, ramens, and you just put it in the soup, or you put it in this big grill on the side, and you just combine everything in your own personal bowl, and it is like, I was in heaven. I got up, I got home, I was sick. I was so sick, and
There's
I ate
no to-go
so
trays.
much food. No, there's no to-go. You just burn through it. You get 2 hours. The seats are comfortable.
2 hours.
It's designed to keep you there. It's not like when you go to McDonald's, it's designed to get you the fuck out.
Yeah. You sit
This
on
is
bear
the opposite,
traps or like
dude.
hot
they're
stoves.
Comfortable,
Yeah.
like cute. They're huge too. Big guys can sit there. I knew we were in trouble when I sit in the booth
It's a
and my
recline.
belly didn't touch
Yeah,
the
pretty
table.
soon. They need to team up with the movie theater industrial
Yes, they do.
complex with the and have the recliners, and then you just
Bro, with
with
the induction soups just going, bro. Bring me the ramen.
Just don't even have to talk to anybody. Like, ramen.
They have a sauce bar you go to, and it has like probably 50 different ingredients, and you can just mix match anything you want, or you can get one of each.
What are y'all doing this afternoon?
Dude, they don't. And what's crazy is like some unlimited buffets are like they start getting like, they don't give a fuck. You can just order and order and order.
Isn't there always a line to get in?
No, dude, we went at 5 o'clock. There was 6 people. Now, when we left, 2 hours later at 7, full. The place was packed. But you couldn't even tell. That's how well designed everything. Like we had people sitting like where Kurt is, like a whole nother group of people.
Yeah.
But everything is very like directional. It's high backed, so the noise gets
like
cut
intimate.
down. Yes.
Yeah. It's like you and your party.
The lighting is low.
Okay.
Dude, date
What's
night.
the biggest tables? Like, what do we? What
They
are we
seat
talking
probably, I bet, 6 to 8 on some of them.
about? Okay.
Like it's made for groups for sure. Like and everybody there was in a group. There was 4 or more.
Oh, yeah, that
we were the
rocks.
only people. It was 2 people.
Okay. I might have to go. Matt's been talking it up.
Dude,
But
it's
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. Just haven't
it's
had the
pricey as all hell, but it's the coolest thing I've had in a long time, dude. I'm not lying. I would eat it every day if I could afford it.
Listen.
Every day.
$50 on a meal. Without putting a second thought.
Yeah.
Bar tab without putting a second thought. When I'm when I'm like online, I'm like, oh, shipping.
Fuck.
$12.
$8.
What the fuck? Fuck this. No.
This $40 shirt turned into a $50 shirt.
Yeah. For me, there's certain things I don't question. Like I will not buy a bottle of water. If I'm at a gas station, I'm like,
either.
dude, if I'm paying,
Unless I'm on the road. That's the only time.
Even then, I don't.
refill my water
Correct.
bottle.
Even then, but I don't. But I'm not happy about it because water should be free. But that's a different conversation.
It
but
is
like
in the bathroom.
But it is in my house. So like, no.
I go to Trader Joe's and I buy their 1.5 liters in a 12-pack for a $10 bill.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
That's the best. That's the best deal on bottled water.
Sure.
Find.
Yeah. Totally. But yeah, I will not like. Oh, bottled water. That what you just described. If it was a penny, I would be pissed off.
Dude, that at a gas station would cost you fucking $8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's certain things in my brain. I'm just like.
It's funny how that works, right? Where like one is okay, but literally almost the identical thing. You're like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like it's the same $50. It's just going to a different thing.
Sure.
And you're gonna spend it. They got you. Like they got me on a lot of shit. Like that K-pot shit. I'll never second guess it ever. I'll just go and be like, I'm gonna spend $100 today on food. And I could have went to the grocery store
and bought 3 eggs.
Here,
And, no. Oh.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I bought 3 eggs and a glass of milk for $100.
Yeah, I don't know. There's.
Huh?
What's up?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Damn.
Until the
See, dude, time
ticker
flies.
goes off?
We've only been here for 10 minutes.
No, we got 10 minutes left.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
2 hours.
We're at 2 hours.
How did that happen?
We just been bullshit.
what I'm saying.
We could have done this at K-Pot, and we'd be
Dude,
leaving
a
now.
K-Pod.
A K-Pod.
So this
Oh,
all right, hold on. Kurt's leaving in January. I just got a brand new H6 recorder.
wait,
I'm
Kurt's leaving?
Forever?
in January for a month.
Dying.
Oh, okay.
So I've got to do
for a
I've got to
month,
do 3 episodes on my own.
Okay. Yeah.
I think K-Pod just happened.
Eat good.
Well, one I'm doing maybe I'll do it all food cuz Justin's going to eat 100 pieces of sushi on one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to die. He's no way he's doing it, dude.
No, I give him 67.
60?
Like Kroger sushi?
No, I think he's going to go to like a place. He's a sushi fanatic, so
That's
he knows
fucking-
like a good
that's
spot.
expensive.
I mean, I went to.
You ate 100 chicken nuggets and you bought 200.
Yeah.
And you didn't bat an eye at that.
Well, I get competitive with bullshit like that.
His left knee doesn't work anymore. Insane constellation. It was after that incident.
They're not connected.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of sodium, bro.
Well,
now that's happening. Cool. If y'all are down in January, cool. I'm down.
When I finish rebuilding my house, I would love to do an on-site podcast there. It doesn't have to be me. It can be whatever. But
I'd love it if it was you.
Yeah, I mean, we could do me too.
How far away are you, by the way?
I would hope January.
January?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm turning 36 in January.
Oh.
Me too.
Well, what are you, 36?
35.
35. Wow. All y'all are the same age. That's nice. I'll be 41.
I'm not the same age.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm dying.
Well, we're all dying.
Dude.
I feel like I'm dying faster. I don't know. I'm doing pretty good. I've lost a lot of weight.
That's good.
That's good. That's good. I feel like we've all put our body through a lot
Dude,
over the years.
Yeah. Mine with my addiction stuff, it was pretty bad. I fucked it up. Let's bring it back around to that.
Sure,
like
sure.
I did a lot of damage.
Hardcore fucked up my body. Also,
Music fucked up my body.
Music fucked up my life. I was like, "You fuck college, man. I'm gonna play
Oh,
this."
who was that telling me? It was the dudes in
I'm over here
Sash.
like I should just go to fucking Amazon and get a job, dude.
You have
Like,
all these fake like parts of my like.
oh, all my teeth back here are falling out now. I don't know what to do.
Whoa.
I don't have like insurance, so it's just like, well,
All my teeth just caught strays in the pit or
Oh.
whatever. So like
Just
these
veneers
are all
and
just
shit.
broken. Not completely knocked out, but like broken teeth. I've got like hardcore ruined my skeletal structure. I've broken this hand more times than I can count.
mine is just flooring. Look, I've ground off 2 of my knuckles on each hand from just rubbing concrete. for 20 fucking years. I just don't have knuckles. Like
Hey, it looks badass though.
it looks like I'm a cage fighter, but I'm not. Although that was a tooth.
I got a scar on my knuckle from uppercutting this dude when he had his mouth open. It sucked ass.
Like into the
Yeah. Because he was like leaning
Shit,
down.
Will.
It was funny. I regret it.
yeah, I'm
but
sure you do.
It was funny because in my head I heard finish him like Mortal Kombat. And you know when you uppercut a Mortal Kombat and they fall off the thing, I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I gotta go for it.
I gotta try.
And I went for it and his fucking mouth was open. I mean, it put his 2 front teeth back.
Oh,
But it really did suck. It fucked my hand up pretty bad. It was funny though.
I deleted a guy's 2 front teeth with a door once. I know. I think
Is that
about it all
when
the time.
You were like,
yeah,
you opened the door with him. Yeah.
deleted them.
We
They
do
poofed.
not condone violence.
I-
We
You
do
have to
not
live with it.
We
I'm
don't
stories that are
condone
told on
violence.
this podcast may not necessarily be
reflective.
reflective of reality.
Yeah.
And so just
I still feel bad about it to this day. If I found the guy, I would apologize, and I'd probably take him to K-Pot or something.
The kid that I took that Earth Crisis shirt off you because you were smoking a cigarette and then I punched you in
See,
the
that's
chest as hard as I could. I am so fucking sorry, dude.
See,
I was 18, freshly straight edge. I had just come off of alcohol addiction.
36.
I am so sorry that I did that to you. If you want to wear an Earth Crisis shirt and smoke a cigarette, please do. Don't let a bully do that to you. Okay? There you go.
pretty good.
There you
It's
go.
a pretty good ending. I mean, I think I've drank a beer with the Earth Crisis shirt on. Dude, I drank a lot of beers with the Earth Crisis shirt on. They did the Standing Rock. They did the Standing Rock benefit. I actually that one Terminal Nation New Year's Eve show, and I was wearing that shirt, and I was just I was shotgunning beers.
Hell yeah.
I think that was the gimmick. I think that
I miss beer so much. It's the one thing I wish I could still do. Oh, well. All right. Do we need to plug anything? Oh, do the harm reduction. Did you ever give out the phone number?
No, I didn't. But so you can go to stopdeaths.com to donate to the Central Arkansas Harm Reduction Project. Let me pull it up here. What's the December 29th? 28th. December 28th.
There's a free date at Vino's if anybody needs a show date because we're not going to use it.
So Arkansas Harm Reduction .bigcartel.com. We have merch available. That's a good way to support us. Just trying to expand our ways to increase funding and things like that to provide these life-saving services that we do here locally. So if you need naloxone, if you need anything like that, you can text 501-438-9158. And we can work out a meeting. If you need, naloxone, condoms, anything of the sort, no stigma, no judgment, no BS. Yeah, December 29th. 8th. God. You want to do the plug-in on that?
Yeah, do the show again.
Cool.
Plug the show again, Will.
December 28th at the Eyes Up House. I got to find this picture. Holy shit. Once again, we got Morbid Visions, First to Burn, Terminal Nation, Chain Snatcher, Bite, Threat, Mazenko, Blast, Dryer Fire, Death Rattle, Penalty, and Second Life. All at my house. 10-minute sets each. All killer, no filler.
And I'll be barbecuing in the front yard.
Okay, let's go.
Well, fuck yeah. We got it. We got a grill master on deck.
Block party, barbecue vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know that we really tap too much on the short sets and boom, 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 boom. But yeah, it's we don't know what the lineup will be. I don't know what the order will be.
Shouldn't be a lineup. Fuck it. Just start.
Just show up from beginning, stay to the end, and
I'm gonna make
have
all
a
the
good time.
Ben's draw straws.
Are we doing that?
Pick names out of a hat. To pick
I
it
love
could be
that.
Terminal Nation first. Like,
you don't know who's gonna go first.
You don't know who's gonna go first. You don't know who's gonna go last.
I love that.
So
I love that.
Let's go. You don't know. Yeah, you don't know who's gonna play twice.
Well, I'm playing 4 sets. So I'm putting my bands together.
So you're drawing one straw and it's just Will.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's.
And then we're also adding 10 more bands too. So,
Can I get one spot, Lane Johnny? Can we? We need a show. We need to buff up.
Hey, for 10-minute sets, some of these bands don't even have 10 minutes worth of music.
They all do.
That's true.
They all
barely.
I'm sure.
We'll play the new shit. It's all angry and about that.
Is it really 10 minutes? I was thinking it was 15.
I don't care if you go over.
Yeah, okay. Don't say that.
Terminal Nation, that's 2 songs.
Yeah, some of our new songs.
Yeah.
You go over at 3 a.m. He's like, why are people still here?
Yeah. Anyway.
What's a block party too? You're supposed to be mingling and hanging out.
Yeah, we're hanging
Yeah.
out. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a cover for the show. Correct? It's
Just bring whatever money.
bring whatever you want. We want to. We will have merch and stuff there that will go towards the Central Arkansas Harm Reduction organization. Shout out to Brooke for coming up with some sick.
Should set up a
shirt
Cash
designs.
App and a Venmo.
Yeah. Oh
Venmo,
yeah. We'll have that.
Venmo.
You know, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Like a little
I keep
placard.
seeing this picture of Anthony. Is there a reason that's
Because
there? It looks like a
of
memorial.
His recent.
like-
No. We do. So this is actually a thing. I've said it before, so I'll say it. But these change every episode.
So
we do little things.
I only listen to audio.
Right.
Full transparency.
I do too. I only
So I
do
missed.
audio.
So this is not the gimmick that
So
I've not been
look.
seeing this gimmick.
So most people don't even notice it. But look,
It makes it look like the guy just passed away. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
We have I put him because he just got on Jimmy Kimmel.
Sure, totally.
being a-
Shout out Anthony. That was sick.
Yeah, that's
so I
cool.
was like, well, he's perfect for this
Yeah,
episode.
that rocks.
Even though that will have been weeks from now.
Sure,
yeah, because
but
this episode's
it's still a
coming
big
out
deal.
after.
Yeah.
Crashcast Pod on Twitter, Crashcast Pod 1. We got nothing. Comedy's canceled. Thanks, Will and Stan, and we'll do it another time. And thank you for listening. Peace. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Comedy's canceled.
You just tell me more about this comedy thing. Are we off there now?